I'm addicted to success.
What's up? Welcome to your favorite podcast, The Ain't Shit Show, the home of booze, views, and unpopular opinions. I want to thank y'all for joining us for episode 134.
134.
My name is Fresh, and I'm one half of the pod gods, and with me is the best man in all of podcast land, my right-hand man, Mr. B. Hill.
Hola, hey, happy new year. Fuck us up. Hope y'all been alright in this little hiatus. And, yeah, we're here. We're back.
We are back. Bad boy, come out and play. We here, man. We made it. Everybody. Hiatus is over. We actually made it into the year 2021 without the world actually exploding at midnight. How are you feeling, my friend?
Hey, life's good, man. You know, shit. It's just another day, you know what I mean? Just enjoying it and taking it all in, you know what I mean? How about you?
Yeah. Same, you know, I mean, we're still in the Panasonic, but on the other side of that, Trump is gone. Yes, the pandemic is still going very, very strong. We are in the second wave of that. But like I said, Trump is gone. So that eliminates one headache that we were dealing with consecutively, as we are dealing with the pandemic and racial, uprisings and all those other things. So, hey, you gotta be thankful where you can eliminate the problems where you can.
Indeed.
Before we get into us, I just want to give a shout out to our listeners everywhere. B, I told you that I was, just doing some working on the data, looking at, how we would proceed for this year, strategically as a podcast, as we're about 3.5 years in at this point in time. And, I was just looking at the stats and I was actually pretty amazed at our reach. To be completely honest, a lot of times when I look at the numbers and I look at the stats, I'm looking at just pure numbers and I'm looking, at what we did last week, what we're doing this week, what episodes are standing out, and trying to adjust our programming accordingly. But I was looking at our numbers, and outside of the U.S., of course, the U.S. is our number one listenership. But outside of the U.S., you wouldn't believe where we popping at, bro. Like
where?
Sweden,
South Korea,
India,
Sweden?
Germany, Sweden. Like what?
Swedes.
What?
Man, blonde hair and blue eyes.
Mad blonde hair and blue eyes. Like when I was looking at that, I was trying to make sense of certain places, like, Sweden, Germany. Germany was second after the US. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy. Finland, Japan, Brazil. And then I was thinking about, like places with, cause I consider us like Brazil. A black ass podcast, podcast, right? So I make the assumptions because I'm not able to get demographics based on the software I use as far as the individual user information. So I don't know who's female. I don't know who's black. I don't know any of that information. I just know aggregates of numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, okay, like, are these military places, where we're getting this, listenership, and things of that nature? Like, wow, like some of the places I was just like, so that is crazy. What do you like? Germany and Spain and UK and especially like Sweden and India and Japan. Like we're doing fairly decent. Of course, we're not doing as well as in the United States. Yeah. But we have about 36, markets in which we make penetration in based on the stats. That's crazy. You got people you promoting it to. Penetration.
Nah, I ain't penetrating nobody.
Beavis and Butthead.
I ain't never penetrated nobody in Thailand.
I mean, now that I think about it, like, I think all penetration is gone down domestically. In the U.S. Like, what's going on? But, I want to thank y'all. And it's just, it's one of those things where people talk to me all the time about the shit we say me. Like, they tell me stuff that I forget we even say it because
Facts.
We talking. Like, we really like going off the top. This show is really about our views and opinions, whether you like it, you don't, whether we agree or not, whether, whatever goes on, like, it's opinions and the opinions are appreciated, by people. And it is even the little shit that we say and somebody come to me and be like, hey, this thing changed my life. B Hill said this. So I started doing this and wow, like I didn't even think about that. Right. Or come to me and say like, I never thought about that situation like that. And that, that makes a lot of sense. But for me, that is impactful because I know how I look at others. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we don't take a moment to kind of pat ourselves on the back, to our creative contributions to society, right?
Our brainchild.
Yeah, man. So
our children, I guess, if it's plural, but
yeah. I think that is dope. And, a standout from the U.S. perspective, we have our main places that we always do great numbers in, New York, Georgia, D.C., N.C., which you would expect that, L.A., places with big populations of black people and things like that. But I was surprised to see that we're actually doing really great in fucking Montana.
Where?
Montana listeners. I don't even know what's in Montana. Is that how I go?
I don't know.
Is that home on the range? Home on the range.
Home on the range. Yeah.
Buffalo Road.
I don't think it's antelope. Antelope are in Africa, but that's fine.
True.
It works for it. I think it's buffalo though.
And
I buffalo graze.
I will never question your animal knowledge.
Oh yeah,
because you be knowing some shit. Like you be knowing some shit about some animals and shit. But
useful
that's dope. Oh, listen, we could kill some trivia of any kind. Like that's why I like going to trivia. I want to see how much useless shit I got in my brain that I can quickly regurgitate. Like. That shit is crazy. But I just want to say we love all y'all. Thank you so much. So yeah, thank you guys for just listening to us and supporting us and, loving our platform and letting us, basically do a brain dump on you guys, on a weekly basis. B, you got anything you want to say to our loving, adoring listeners out there in listener land? In Finland, in Japan.
To the motherfuckers in Montana one time for y'all. I have never had a desire to go to Montana, but I heard that the bison is excellent, and I don't eat beef, but I would probably eat bison straight off the range, I guess, if that's what it's called. But shout out to everybody that you never
ate at Ted's Montana?
Yeah,
Ted's Montana Grill with the bison burgers?
Like straight off the the range, I guess. But yeah, Ted Montana used to bust. They had the fucking yeast rolls and shit, and that fucking meatloaf, that bison meatloaf, shit was excellent. One time for them shit.
I never had bison meatloaf.
That shit was great. Like,
that sounds like it's probably good as fuck.
That shit was super good. That shit was way better than like regular meatloaf. But I'm not, shout out to everybody, for the listenership, from friends and family members to people that, we've never met and haven't crossed paths with, y'all are equally important and I appreciate y'all. And, cause I know how much, podcasts mean to me, in terms of my weekly and daily, exercise mentally, I guess, if you will. So, I'm glad to be a part of your weekly rotation and I hope it continues. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, great. And like I said, when COVID started, I feel like, on trend was just podcasts, numbers going down in general, because people weren't driving to work and shit no more. A lot of people use podcasts as transition points, throughout their day. So it looks like, things have picked back up to normal when niggas like, all right, well, I need to find another way, to listen to podcasts and shit. So that's super dope. Love y'all. How was your Christmas, man?
Christmas was good, Christmas was real good. It was, my twin's birthday was on the 23rd. So, that was good. And Christmas
Happy birthday.
Is fun. You know what I'm saying? It was low key, obviously, cause COVID couldn't do much, but went to my mom and dad's house and kicked it with them. And, it was good. You know what I mean? Just another day. You get it, did you get or give anything that kind of stood out? That's outside of the norm. I got.
You consider special.
She got me Ancestry DNA. That was dope.
Nice. I was waiting for Trump to get out of office before I did mine.
Well,
I have one. I've had one for a minute.
So I got like mad family and all type of fucking weird ass scenarios in my life. So I did it to see if I could reconnect with some people in my life that haven't been in my life. So yeah, that, and then, in addition to that, like, if you don't have Ancestry DNA, you can go to Ancestry.com and start building your, and this is for free. You can build your family tree. So, that was extremely dope because I don't know a lot about my dad, my biological dad's side of my family. And then my mom's mom died when she was like 9. So I don't really know a lot about that side of, like my maternal grandmother's side. So, that shit is really dope because you can build your family tree and see all these damn documents and shit. Like I saw my granddaddy's, draft card when he was like 18, you know what I'm saying? And seen like.
So how is that information pulled? Like, where do they get that information from? Is it because you already have a family member on Ancestry that loaded that piece of information?
You just put in your family's information. Like you just put in, your granddaddy name. Like it's just building the family tree. So you put in their name, their date of birth, and then if you have their death dates, you know what I mean? Like it just populates like my granddaddy name Emmanuel Hill. So Emmanuel Hill, like within North Carolina, and the dates of his birth and the dates of his death, then it just populates, you know what I'm saying? And then same with your grandparents and shit, and it just kind of rolls on up. So then they say like, oh, well, you have these hints, and then they send you all these documents and shit, and then it'll relate to, it's like they got they got like a census from like 1900 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it says on the top of the census, like, second annual census or some shit. Like this shit is crazy as hell. Like, and I love history and shit. So what better history to get than your own? Sure. But, and like seeing like my great grandparents and, seeing like, cause like I said, my grandma died when my mom was 9. So seeing her like death certificate and shit is wild. Like it's really wild. And then like I said, with my pops, like I don't know shit about his family really. Like my granddad and my grandma, I knew my grandma, but my granddaddy died well before I was born. So I, saw his name and found out kind of where he was from when he was born and shit, you know what I mean? And like, it was wild. So you can do that for free. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. That shit don't even take me. You can get a subscription to it and then like get into more deeper documents and shit like that. Try to find pictures and shit, but you can at least find like your names. Like I found, I think my fourth removed grandparents. So whatever, like my grandparents, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit's dope.
Hey, that's pretty dope. I didn't know you could do all of that for free. Like I said, I've been having ancestry tests since probably
the DNA part is different, like because you got to spit and give your DNA, but you can just do like Ancestry.com and they get you because obviously if you want to, like it's the preliminary stages, so you know what I'm saying, they kind of like spoon feed you or whatever just to wet your palate, but then you can go in and if you decide to get the monthly subscription for like $30 a month, you can get all these random hits and shit like that. And I think you can even see photos and stuff if they have them, but I didn't get to see any photos. I just saw like draft cards and fucking marriage certificates and shit. Like my grandparents got married, like my mom, they was pregnant, you know what I'm saying, like with my mom and shit, like because I looked at it, I knew when my mom was born and looked at their date of marriage. Like my mom was born like 6 months later. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit, type shit. So You know, that shit was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, some shit went down before some shit went down.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but you know, that's what people used to do back in the day. Like, oh, you pregnant? I'll marry you now.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go ahead and get married. Where people like now, like, oh, you pregnant? Oh, damn. Like, oh, I didn't even know you kept that junk. Like, oh, you kept it? Oh, I got a child? Oh, I didn't even know that. Like, oh, all right. Back in the day, grandpapa married grandma because she was pregnant, but grandpa stayed with the family, but grandpa also had like 4 other families that he would tend to. And that's the thing, like with my family and going back and ancestry and all that shit. Cause like I try to talk to my mom about a lot of stuff. So it is very classic behavior in my immediate family. Whereas if we're all together, like a holiday or something, like a very casual conversation will come up and, divulge some information, about our family that I didn't know. Like some scandals, some controversy, some, you know, whatever, just, or shit I just didn't know or realize. And, my dad was a very good storyteller. You had to take his stories with a grain of salt because there might be some cap in the shit though. Cause he be putting extra sauce on shit. You know what I'm saying? But like my dad, you know, my dad's been gone, for a good while now. Rest in peace. Love you, Dad. Miss you every day. But my mom is not a good storyteller, right? So, you know, my siblings and I, we constantly ask my mom, like, you know, like, tell us how you were, like, when you were a child and like, what were you into? And like, just trying to, for me, I'm just trying to understand my mom outside of being my mom. You know what I'm saying? And make ties to understand, you know, hey, do we have things in common or whatever the case may be? And, you know, just look, I want to know, who were you before you were a mom, even though she was married at 18 and, you know, fucking a mom at 21. I don't know if you had a whole lot of life before that, but still, you know what I'm saying? I want to know who you are outside of that. My mom, she's just not, she's like, well, I don't know. Well, I mean, I didn't really do nothing. Well, and so it makes us really frustrated because I think for me, I understand time. And I understand that not only am I getting older, my mom is getting older. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be a position at a certain point in time for me to learn these things about you. And I don't just want to be like, oh, well, she was my mom and this is what she did, you know, kind of as my mom. So it becomes a little frustrating for me at times, but I've kind of let it go. But I do also understand that, listen, we're getting to the point in our age where we're now the aunts and uncles and we'll be the, you know, the grandparents, and eventually we will be the pillars that are required to kind of keep the family together as these matriarchs and patriarchs, you know, pass away and, you know, become unable and things like that. So that actually gives me like pause. Like it feels like pressure to me. And now we're all in like this digital age, whereas keeping it a band be like, I may or may not see my cousins and shit on social media. You know what I'm saying? You got your ones that you super close to that you keep in more contact with. And my family is huge on both sides of the family. Like family is huge. And so, you know, a lot of times I think of things as a task. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think of it as a task because they want to do family reunions and all of that shit. And I don't want to say all of that shit. That I feel like that was a disrespectful statement. They want to do family reunions and things of that nature. Somebody has to facilitate that. Somebody has to coordinate that. You know what I'm saying? And so they look to individuals that they deem to be competent to try to put those things together. Fortunately and unfortunately, I fall into that bucket and a couple other cousins, right? And a lot of us are like, man, we don't want to deal with all that comes with that. The human nature of it. You know what I'm saying? People not having money. People want to select different times. You know how it is coordinate anything with Black people. Yep. Even if it's just a trip to the beach, even if it's just everybody going out to dinner. If you're dealing with more than 3 or 4 Black people in your family, outside of your family, it becomes a task. So one of my things I try to pray for is patience, because I know that task is going to fall on me in some way, shape, or form. Shout out to, like my cousin Jamila. God bless her. I love her. You know, she is like the person who's taking on the reins right now. She schedules like this family call every 2 weeks and things like that. And I was just like, she would be the person to do it, because even if she don't want to do it, she's the sweet one. Mm-hmm. She's a teacher. She's super smart, but she's the sweet one. And she's the one that's going to be like, all right, I'll do it because Auntie such and such wants me to do it. Meanwhile, my ass is like, I mean, there's other people too that can help. So, you know, I think family is important. And I just think that is dope that you are, going through that process. I know that you've expressed several times on this show, how much family means to you and how maybe you didn't have the connection that you would have wanted with your family, and how you're doing that reach out. And, I just feel like that would make a great show, like a visual show, a YouTube channel or something like that, to just follow that journey. Cause I think shit like that super dope. Like, huh?
I said I'm kind of private though. So
what did you say?
I mean? Like, I said I'm private.
I think you've divulged a lot on this show. You know what I'm saying? So even if it was just in regards to, like that high level stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, either way, not saying that you should do it. I'm just saying that I think that is just great to see that. Like, you meet people like you didn't even know you were related to. Like, I have a gist. I understand. I've met people, you know what I'm saying? I know all of that shit. But you know, I just think that your situation is super dope. But, just shout out to you for that. And seeking out your family and doing your ancestry DNA and all of that. Yeah. My Christmas was great. I was with my family for 2 weeks, from Christmas to New Year's, and then made my way back like the Oregon Trail because I was driving. But Christmas was great. All the kids, I got all the kids fucking fresh white Air Force Ones. All of them have a record. Nieces and nephews at this point in time. But a dope gift that I received that I asked for was a ring, right? A ring doorbell.
Oh, nice.
And, shout out to, my brother's girlfriend. Shout out to Malik for getting me this Ring doorbell that I wanted. And I installed it and did all that shit. And so what comes with this Ring doorbell is probably a service that a lot of you guys already have in other way, shapes, or form, where you get like updates on what's going on in the neighborhood and shit like that. So I never subscribe to that type of stuff because I just have enough dings that come to my phone already. But with this Ring I've installed, it comes with the app, and I haven't disabled it yet. But what I'm finding out is I thought I stayed in a pretty nice neighborhood. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, that shit too much. That shit is anxiety feel. Like, shit will drive you crazy.
Facts.
All I need to know is who comes to my door, and you know what I mean? And cause I got something similar. Like, I got a camera Ring, doorbell, not an actual Ring, but I got an app that, it don't connect to the neighborhood. I don't really care about all that shit because that shit will drive me crazy and I have my anxiety going through the fucking roof.
No, 100% B. And that's kind of where I am with it. I was like, I kind of love the being blissfully ignorant. Right. All this time, you know what I'm saying? Because I've lived in Atlanta, and I've lived in this area for the entire 5 years that I've been here. And I stay in the Sandy Springs area of Atlanta, North Atlanta, very diverse, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really hear about too much going on, around here, but that, it's basically a community, I guess, posting board. So individuals post this stuff. So it's like, oh, I heard 7 shots. Did anybody hear that? Oh, they just found a dead body in apartment, whatever. But it's within a mile radius, like it's 10-mile radius or some shit like that. But I'm like, the fuck? They found what? Oh no, like this shit is anxiety. Just like you said, like I like being blissfully ignorant.
It's watching the news every second. Like I already watch fucking Facebook and Instagram and Twitter all goddamn day. I don't need an additional fucking, like, domestic terror threat right around my fucking outside my door.
Yes. And I did so I always tell y'all when I do like these detox weeks or whatever, I tell y'all it's rejuvenation week or whatever, and just based on what have been going on in the past 2-3 months, I was like, I feel like I've been, with my bubble and all of that. And I did like a detox last week. Like my detox also includes bad news. So I had to turn the fucking notifications off. I was like, not this week. Mm-hmm. I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't deal with that. But then I inadvertently turned the shit on, and like last night I'm up, it's like fucking 2 a.m. Something comes through and like, oh, did y'all hear that tornado siren? What's about to go on? I'm like, the fuck? So I look, I'm on the phone, shit down, look out the window. Ain't nothing going on, bro. I tell you, like, maybe 3 minutes later, it's like the bottom fell out and it was the wrath of God going on outside. It was loud. It was scary. And I was just like, what the fuck going on? So I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, what are the protocols if you are in a tornado? Like, is that when you go in the tub? Is that when you get under the door seal? Like, is that where you go and get into the fetal position? Like, what's the protocol for a fucking tornado? Like, what? The closet. So I looked it up. I was like, shit, like, I don't know what the fuck to do in a tornado. So I looked this shit up. So I'm just like on watching shit like, damn, well, I guess the ring told me it was about to come. So I guess it's useful. I mean, I got up that morning or whatever. It was still loud, but I still went to sleep. Got up that morning. You know how you can look where outside and be like, listen, the sun is shining. Mm-hmm. It's warm outside today, but it looks like some shit happened last night. Right. Like shit shifted all over the place and everything. But, yeah, like that shit was, that shit was crazy last night. But, shout out to Ring. I need y'all to make the doorbell just a little bit less sensitive, because if a huge truck goes by, my motion detector goes off.
Same.
And it makes noise. So, have you caught any good action on your camera?
Nah, my shit is just like, my doorbell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it don't capture like the whole thing unless I'm like looking out. Like, unless I log into it. The only time like I get a notification is if somebody like approaches my door type shit, and then, obviously they ring it or whatever. But, so I don't just be staring out the window. I mean, for one, I work out in my fucking, like I can see the street in my daughter's room and shit. So, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I just fucking, whenever somebody come to my door and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's dope. Like, when motherfucker ring my door and I don't feel like answering, I just like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to them through the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But that
is a good COVID protocol. Like,
yeah. What's good?
For sure.
Yeah. Like, what
Because a nigga came to my door with like an open package and shit. But he was a young boy and, they don't use a lot of words. Yeah. So I'm like, what's up? He was like, package for you, but it's open. Like, it's open. I can see the shit hanging out of it. It's not like he closed the shit. And I was just like, what does it say on the package? And he like, he says like my address. I was like, what's the name on it? And apparently it was the individual who stayed here before me. Mm-hmm. Because I've gotten a lot of her stuff. So that's how I knew the connection. But I was just like, bro, like, I'm straight profiling the nigga. Like, you ain't a nigga that'll be at my door. I'm not about to open this door. I don't know what you up to. He looked like he could have been like maybe 18, 19 years old. But I'm just like, fucking enunciate. What's going on so we can get this transaction? But it was, it was hella fucking useful. Right. It's a new year, new you. Anything new or just maintaining?
Nah, just maintaining. Same old same, slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Just keep holding it in the road.
holding it in the road. Did you watch that Salt and Pepper movie the other day?
I saw like 30, 45 minutes of it. I was kind of high.
It lost your attention? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Nah, I just got sleepy.
You couldn't keep up.
I came home at like 1 and it was on, so I watched it because I wanted kid with a couple of my people and shit. One of my homeboys' birthday. Shout out to Real. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Real.
Over the Saturday. So I watched a little bit of it and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What were your just thoughts on, I guess, the little bit that you saw as far as it being a biopic and a Lifetime movie and Salt and Pepper?
You know, it was all that, all the above. I didn't know Salt and Herbie Love Bug, dude. I knew about Herbie Love Bug, and but I didn't know that they was, you know, involved in a relationship together. So that was interesting. But
yeah, I thought that it was. So I watched the whole thing. So okay, so Spinderella. Do you think of Salt and Pepper as 2 people or 3 people?
Definitely Spinderella. So you got to include Spin.
Yeah, man. Like that didn't sit well with me, man. That didn't sit well with me.
They always talking about she used to get a 1099 and all this other shit. Like she was an independent contractor and shit. That shit was whack. Like, I'm like, yo, that shit corny as hell. Like y'all bitches lame for that. But I mean,
that was super lame.
Yeah, like I mean, she was kind of implanted.
Based on the movie, yeah, she was implanted in the group, and I know you didn't see the whole thing, but she was implanted in the group by Herbie. There was a previous Spinderella, which I knew vaguely, but then when I saw the picture of her on the original Salt and Pepper album cover, I was like, okay, I never paid attention because even though we know Salt and Pepper, we were super fucking young. Like little kids in the fucking 80s when Salt and Pepper came out. You know what I'm saying? But we know Salt and Pepper, so don't get it twisted. I ain't trying to act like we don't know Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper are legends, but we know Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. One of the first concerts that I went to was Salt and Pepper. It was Salt and Pepper, and R. Kelly was my first concert that I ever went to in my whole entire life. And it was Salt, Pepper, and Spinderella. We always knew that. And I felt like it was kind of messed up because if she was just this ad hoc employee, I feel like y'all utilized her image to perpetuate 3 people throughout the course of the lifespan of Salt and Pepper being popping.
Yeah.
On all the album covers, it was there. On all the videos Spin was in, you know, Spin might have had a couple lines, you know, and go back in like, and in the movie, I felt like there was a slant there, right? Even though I guess it was Salt and Pepper who kind of gave Lifetime the material that they needed, I kind of felt like it was told from Salt's point of view.
Right.
Because if you look at certain movies that are biopics that include multiple people, certain people come out unscathed, right? Like they're only viewed in like this great light, right? And I felt like that was Salt. Like Salt was the church girl. Salt was the one putting up with the, you know, abusive boyfriend, and then dealing with like Pep and like Pep's issues with Tretch and dealing with all these things. And she was kind of like the glue that held everything together outside of like this vague bulimia plot that they put, storyline that they put in there. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, Salt, you supposed to be this Christian girl. What would Jesus do? Blah, 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 blah. But you straight shitted on fucking Spin. Yeah. Y'all used her, and I think that is fucked up. I think that it is super fucked up. But one of the things that the movie did, in fact, just kind of shed some additional light on is like, listen, Salt and Pepper was talking that shit before everybody.
Yeah, that's a fact.
She was talking that shit before your Lil' Kims and your Foxy Browns and your Megs and your City Girls and like all that shit. They was talking that shit then. Like, I'll take your man, like, you a tramp, like, if I want to go out here fucking, it's my business. Of course, they said things in a little bit, I don't want to say more classy way, but, they weren't as, nigga, suck your dick, da-da-da-da-da, but they was still spitting that shit like, you know, women can do the same thing that niggas do.
Well,
you
Pep
know what I'm
was
saying?
A freak anyway.
Yeah. I think they kind of, you know, kind of alluded to, but like tiptoed around the fact that Pep had and probably still has substance abuse issues.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I watch shit like Growing Up Hip Hop and shit like that. And Pep is definitely still on some shit. I don't know if it's alcohol, if it's drugs, whatever it is, but she definitely gives, sis, are you okay sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Saw Pep on like an after show, whatever they had, Salt and Pepper. Pep was looking like Pep. Salt was looking like the first lady of the church. Salt was looking like the first lady of the church. And I think that like Salt kind of struggles with, the songs that they made and continuing to make money and upholding this, godly image that she tries to transition or has tried to transition into. Would you, if this was your bread and butter, right? Like you made songs, it ain't even gotta be like, no, you done found God in a different way. Like you, let's just say you are a husband and you are a father. Now, if you were a rapper making like crazy, like disrespectful, wild shit back in the day, do you think you would continue to do that if that's how you feed your family?
Probably.
Yeah,
probably so. I mean, it's kind of hard to turn off, you know what I'm saying? Like you either gotta be all the way with it or all the way not, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't really, it's not a fine line you can walk. It's either you in it or you out. You know what I mean? Like the thing about it, like as you continue, I think I heard Snoop say that, like, that's why he did like Snoop lying and shit and the gospel stuff. He was like, cause he was like, yeah, you know, I'm still with all that other shit that I do, but he was like, I'm also evolved. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, I'm still cripping, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a crip to the end, but he's like, I ain't gangbanging and shit. So he was like, he did that just so he can kind of diversify, you know, like if he goes, you know, certain places that he can, you know, sing certain music and shit like that. So, so if you're, fortunate enough to stay in the game as long as that goes, then, you know, you hope to be able to make, you know, your 444s versus, you know what I'm saying, your pimping, you know, big pimping and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get that. I think kind of one of the differences between Snoop is like, I'm evolving, but I'm all encompassing. Some people are trying to like, Salt is like, I don't want to sing push shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't my image now. And Pep is like, nah, that's like our number one song. We're not about to go somewhere and not do push it, my nigga. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
You need to get your shit together. Like, we're not gonna not do that.
You have to sing God's property.
Yeah. And all the people say, hey, speaking of God's property, how you like, gangsta, Kirk Franklin new set of teeth he been showing all over the internet. Plies new teeth. He want to show everybody
weird,
his new smile.
I'm so tired of this.
Plies is a weird man.
Everybody got them teeth, man.
Well, I'll give it to Plies. Plies, whoever he went to, whatever dentist, orthodontist, whoever does that type of work, they did a good job on Plies' teeth. He doesn't look like he have the extra large chiclet teeth like everybody has, the 75-inch flat screens everybody have in their mouth. He does have good ones, but it's just like this whole thing that Plies does, and he does like this tickle me Elmo laugh that throws me the fuck off. And he's like, I'm shy. Y'all ladies like my teeth. I'm like, Algernon, like, I'm gonna need you to chill. Like, all right, you got new teeth. Man. Congratulations. Plaza went from like being a rapper to pretty much an influencer of sorts at this point in time.
Right.
So I guess that's how, you know, he gets his bread and butter. Did you watch the verses, the Ashanti and Keisha Cole verses at all?
I did not.
I'm surprised. I thought you were. Are you a Keisha Cole fan?
I mean, I like both of them, but I was cool. I was just tired of the fucking, you know,
the back and forth and shit
and doing all that shit. And then when I did tune in, like, shit was supposed to start at 8. It was like 8:45. Shit still on there. I was like, yeah, fuck this shit. I think I was watching Your Honor or some shit. So fuck that. Nah.
Is that a Tyler Perry show?
Say
it's
that
a
again?
Black show, ain't it? Your Honor is a black show.
Is Your Honor a black show? Nah, come on, Showtime. I mean, it's a black show. It's based in New Orleans, yeah, but it's about a
yeah.
Come on, Showtime.
I thought it was a Tyler Perry.
About a judge who's whose son kills, like does a hit and run on a mob boss's son and shit. So they like the judge got to do all this backsliding and shit, but he's actually a good judge. But it's shit is good as fuck. I need to watch it. That's episode Sunday, so I was watching that. I was catching up on that.
Well, I did in fact watch the verses. It did not start till about 9:15.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's supposed to start at 8. Yeah, I feel like they should have canceled it. Keisha Cole was, in my opinion, unprofessional. Things weren't exactly how she wanted it, so she refused to come out. And then when she came out, her energy was all the fuck off. Left Ashanti out there for a while trying to entertain, and I love Ashanti. I love Keisha Cole. However, Ashanti is not a personality to me. Like, I'm not drawn in by Ashanti's personality, and she does this thing where all she goes, it's crazy. And she has this fucking nervous laugh that she does all the time. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. And then the setup that they had was super crazy, because why would you have two vocalists or people who people deem as being able to sing? Singers go from the diaphragm. Why would you have them sitting down? Yeah. They want to sing. They can't stand up because they're going to be outside of the box of the whole Instagram shit. You know, they had to be in separate places. They had to go back to the original format. And whenever they're in separate places, that shit is trash. All the time. Like, I just need them to move it to a different platform. Like, if y'all want to keep it on Instagram, keep it on Instagram as well. But y'all should have y'all own site at this point in time, or at least a live YouTube channel or something like that. There's ways to work around that. I don't know if Swiss and Tim have cut a deal with Instagram to keep it there, but every time there is a new versus, there is a new sponsor. So they're making money.
Yeah, well, Apple Music, I mean, it streams on Apple Music, so, you don't have Apple Music. But they're still adhering to like Instagram protocols, because everybody don't have Apple Music. If they just had the shit on Apple Music, they can just cater to the restrictions or limitations of Apple Music. They're catering. I think their number one platform where they have the most is Instagram. Yeah. So they like, yeah, the shit gonna cut off, and like they had to rush because Instagram only gives them X amount of time to do this. So it's gonna cut off. The Wi-Fi connection wasn't good. Whoever's on the bottom of the screen has fucking comments going across their face. Like, even though they do have the Apple Music, I feel like they just need to be like, all right, if you watching it on Instagram, it's however you get it. But this is the main platform for us, whether it's versus.tv.com, whether they say, okay, it's all going to Apple Music. I'm definitely not about to, I don't know. I would possibly cancel my others to go back to Apple Music. I'm always going to have my Spotify, but I would probably cancel my Tidal and go back to Apple Music if they were not still going to adhere to Instagram protocols and how they carry that shit out. But it was good music. It could have been a whole lot better. I feel like it was one that would have been an epic fail. I saw Coco from SWV, and I saw Tasha from Escape singing each other's music. I think they won a versus. I am huge fans of both Escape and SWV, and I would be so down for that versus. Coco smoked Tasha.
Done properly.
Motherfucker can't hold fucking Coco fucking nail polish.
Oh, yeah.
The fuck?
Listen, I'm not gonna go that deep. You know, you be jumping out the window, but Coco is definitely a voice.
She's a voice to be reckoned with.
Coco.
Like, she's one of the greatest voices of all time. Like, and still at 50 some odd years old, still smoking that shit. That shit was beautiful. And then you showed Tasha shit, and I'm like, eh.
But, you know, that's the thing about singers and people who can sing. Like, their voices don't get worse unless they, you know, drug and alcohol and shit like that. But like your singers, that like you can make money forever as like a person who can actually sing. Like, if you don't need like a gimmick, if your shit is not like you being super sexy, because age is going to happen. Gravity is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just time is going to occur. But like if your talent is not caught up in gimmicks and you can just fucking sing, like I feel like that's the gift that can keep on giving. I got one for you. Keke Wyatt or Coco?
I think Keke has more vocal ability in terms of like being able to do shit with her voice, like in terms of like just range and shit.
Acrobatics.
But I think that's a tough one. I don't know. I think I'd probably rather listen to Coco sing longer than I would Keke. Like I want to see like some you know like some shit like some exercises done with Keke. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how she can smoke shit, but. Sonically, I think
I can see that.
I'd rather listen to Coco for an extended period of time.
I can see that. I think I'm falling in line right with you on that. I like the way you broke that down because Keke is one of those people where you just like, wow, that is a lot. Like that is a powerful voice. She does acrobatics with her voice. Mm-hmm. She does vocal acrobatics with her voice. Where Coco, I feel like Coco just has, sometimes like you, I think sometimes that can be a lot over 12 songs. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like power the whole time. I think Coco has power, but she's also able to like adjust a little bit. So yeah, I like that train of thought with that. I would see that the exact same way, but I would love to see a versus with, SWV, and Escape. Like, those are Escape. I'm an Escape fan, so you probably don't know the songs that I know, cause I am a legit Escape fan and I've listened to all of their albums. Escape definitely got 20. 100% got 20. 100% got 20.
I'm sure album cuts, yeah, for sure, but in terms of like notable records, I don't know.
Radio singles? Yeah, but you know, that's the great thing about, I feel like these particular artists. Whereas you didn't really have a choice back in the day. You didn't have all these streaming services and shit like that. You just knew this group had an album coming out, and in order for you to hear it, you had to have access to that album in some way, shape, or form. Like, you could listen to the radio, but the radio was only going to play the hit over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't just go to YouTube and listen to the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to listen to like this body of work. Whereas now, there are artists where I like their songs. I couldn't tell you nothing about their album when they came out. Sometimes I can't even tell you the artist's name. I just know I like the song and that's it. Like, it's cause music is manufactured just so much now. Like every day, like it's something and they're cranking it out and it's just this fucking music factory and shit. And we talked about this on the show where you're unable to really keep up with what's going on. That's why I'm not a fan of the 20 track album, the 40 track album. Like, keep all that shit. Chris Brown, Drake, hang that shit up. I hate that shit. Stop doing that shit. Because I'm sure you got great music in there, but come on, I don't care who you are. After fucking 15 songs, I'm pretty much like, all right, bro. Like, your talent only stretched but so far where you are able to make these things sound different and feel different and keep a listener engaged for fucking 25 songs, 30 songs, 40 songs. There are people right now that I know that are huge Chris Brown fans. And like myself, they like, no, I ain't listening to that album. Like, I listened to a couple joints. I don't even know what else is on that album. Like that, what was that? Full Moon?
Heartbreak on the Full Moon. Great album.
Heartbreak on the Full Moon.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you said you listened to that whole thing, right?
Majority of it, yeah. I'm a Chris Brown fan though, so I love him. That's my nigga.
Yeah, I like Chris Brown. I'm not really a huge fan of like a lot of the pop and EDM flavored type shit, but yeah, Chris Brown is still
he don't even do that shit no more.
Chris Brown is still not.
He hasn't done like no EDM.
He don't be doing that shit. He don't get his bread and butter from that no more.
Nah, bro. That shit was mad like fucking 10 years ago. He don't do that shit at all.
No, not 5, 10, maybe like 3, 4. Cause that nigga always got a hit that's first of all, let's keep it a band. Like Chris Brown always got something on the radio. And 9 times out of 10, it's the pop shit.
Nah, not at all.
It ain't like that R&B shit. It's that Fine China.
That's not true. That's not true at all. His last 10 songs that's been on the radio have been R&B songs or hip hop and R&B.
All right, give me the last 3 that you think of that comes to mind for Chris Brown.
Go Crazy, No Guidance, Heat, fucking, yeah, those 3.
Yeah. I mean, based on those 3, I feel you, but yeah, I know what I like from certain people, and like my like for certain artists is not all encompassing, and Chris Brown is not all encompassing. Not that he's not good at what he does. It's just like that certain type of music. It doesn't like appeal to me because I know that it is for the masses. It is for global consumption. So I definitely understand the business strategy behind that.
But he don't even do that.
Just some of it is not for
me. He don't even do that no more. Like he ain't did that in like 4 albums.
Well, hopefully, it's some shit where it will have so much critical acclaim that I will go back and listen to a 20 cut Chris Brown album. But as of now, it's no cigar. But yeah, you want to give us some, black facts before we get into this leadership?
I just want to say rest in peace, Kobe. I don't really have nothing too crazy. Rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, Gianna. Today, unfortunately, marks the 1-year anniversary of their untimely death and the rest of the passengers on that plane or helicopter rather. So, just want to give them a big RIP and their legacy continues. The shit sucks. Like today was a pretty sad day in terms of that because I remember where I was last year when I heard the news, and it's just still wild and surreal that that they're gone or whatnot. But yeah, just one. And actually, and BET was founded yesterday for the first. Bob Johnson founded on January 25th of I think it was 1979 or some shit like that. So.
Shout out to that BET. Happy birthday, I guess, to BET. Off the BET, I was looking at like Lifetime, VH1, all of these channels that don't market themselves as black entertainment like BET, but they're clearly filled with black broadcasting and using black viewers. Mm-hmm. Like all of their shows, like VH1, all that shit is does way better than your BETs, your TV1. Mm-hmm. These channels that specifically say we are channels for black people. Do you have any thoughts on why you feel like these, for lack of better words, gentrified black channels do better than the actual black channels?
Like Charlamagne said, folks think white ice is cold. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of what it is. You know what I mean? We always run the white folks. You know what I'm saying? So. And, they're giving us bigger bags and shit like that.
I want to, say rest in peace as well to, Hank Aaron.
For sure.
The baseball player, who recently passed away. There has been controversy around his death because he received the COVID-19 vaccine, 2 weeks ago. And now he has passed away. Keisha Lance Bottoms, who is the mayor of Atlanta, posted something. I follow her on Instagram. She posted something on her page and she was basically like, yes, Hank Aaron received the COVID vaccine. Yes, Hank Aaron passed away. However, that shouldn't discourage you from receiving the COVID vaccine because pretty much like she said it in a more elegant way. However, to sum it all up, she said, yeah, like everybody ain't gonna make it pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how vaccines work.
The Moderna shit is the fucking pits. They have banned that shit in certain states. I don't know why the fuck. Like, what? They don't even administer that shit in the whole state of California, which is the biggest fucking state in the country. And because of the complications and shit like that. And they haven't announced what those complications have been, but there have been a significant amount. So if you do take one, take the Pfizer one. Don't do that Moderna shit. Cause that shit ain't right.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. My mom asked me that, recently. Like, are you going to take the vaccine? I was like, no, not at all. I'm not, taking that vaccine. I'm not taking something that y'all whipped up in a couple months and trying to sell it. There has been information received about the vaccine for like Bell's palsy and all that shit, and people dying from it. And
the Moderna one, I haven't seen much in backlash regarding the Pfizer one, but that Moderna one ain't right.
Yeah, I mean, and then there has been talks about it not being stored at the proper temperature, like it needs to be stored at like sub-zero temperatures, and it's hard finding trucks that's gonna ship it, and then, you know, individuals have gotten the first one, and then it's a two-part. Is both Pfizer and Moderna the two-part, or is
so.
Yeah, so people are getting the first one and not getting the second one and all of these things. I was talking to a coworker today and we were talking about a meeting or whatever, and she was like, long story, but I'm going to get the COVID vaccine. Can you reschedule for this time? And I'm just like, oh, all right, cool. Like, she kind of said like, this some bullshit, but I'm required to do it for whatever reasons. But I was like, wow. But yeah, man, rest in peace to, Hank Aaron, Black History legend. Are you ready to get into some litter shit?
Yep.
All right. We about to get into some litter shit. Our first litter shit for 2021, and litter shit for our new people in Brazil and Japan and Belgium. It is our pop culture segment where we talk about, all the hot topics and all the fuck shit that is on your timeline. B, are you, partaking in any vices today for our recording? Red Oak, North Carolina, High Point. Where's that? Greensboro. Shout out to Red Oak. I'm not a beer drinker, but I pass that shit way more than I would like. I should be in a plane and not in my car. I am drinking Deep Eddies grapefruit flavored vodka with diet tonic. Yeah, the world is going to open up soon, and I got to figure out where to cut calories where I can and still be able to sustain my sanity. So that is actually good. If you are a person who likes flavored vodka, if you take a diet tonic or a regular tonic and add a flavored vodka to it, most of the time it tastes like soda. So it just tastes like grape soda or grapefruit soda or whatever. So, if you're trying to find a way to cut some calories, that's where it is. But we are going to continue to sip and get into this pop culture and talk about your man, Mr. Yup, Mr. Trey Songz, Mr. Super Spreader himself, Mr. not wearing a mask while he steals your girl. Trey Songz was jailed, this weekend, on Monday after he got into a scuffle with police, during an arrest for not wearing a mask and following other rules at an AFC championship game in Kansas City. Police said that police allege that Trey refused to follow the orders from the private security guards at the venue in Arrowhead Stadium and was asked to leave. Trey allegedly refused to leave. Kansas City police was called, and also the Jackson County Sheriff's Office was called in to arrest Trey when he did not comply. Allegedly, this Kansas City police officer shows up. He is talking to Trey for about a minute or so. Things didn't go quite how it was expected to go. And allegedly this officer goes to try to escort Trey out of the section. Trey then backs down and allegedly swings on this officer or shoves this officer, and then total mayhem and melee ensues. Trey and the officer wrestled in this seat. I'm sure you all have seen the videos. And the crazy thing to me is it seemed like Trey had this nigga in a headlock very calmly for an infinite amount of time.
Yeah.
Like Trey was just like chilling with this nigga in a whole fucking headlock. Nigga couldn't get out. It was very interesting to me because it seemed like people weren't really helping and then they were, but it just seemed like Trey and this officer for quite a long time, in this scuffle of sorts. But Trey was essentially taken off to jail and, booked on a bunch of charges that included, assaulting a police officer, not following protocols and shit of that nature. You saw the video?
Every time I saw it, I couldn't like really make out shit. So it was like twice I gave up on it.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Cause it was a lot going on and it wasn't until I went to, TMZ to kind of look into it a little bit more cause I figured it was going to be a topic we were going to talk about on the show. You know, like TMZ loves the mess. So they slow the shit down, put the arrows on the shit. And I was like, oh, like, okay. Like my whole thing with, this whole Trey thing is Trey had COVID. Went online, told everybody, and we spoke about this in the previous show. He goes online, he tells everybody like, yo, COVID serious. I have COVID, even though he, seemed to be asymptomatic carrier of COVID. But it's after that, after you had COVID and did this fucking quarantine, now you're everywhere. Like you hosting club events with fucking packed shit. And now you're getting in trouble for attending a game, in a public setting and like not wearing a mask. Just based on the information that you know, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like he was wrong or, you know, is it the same kind of story of police, targeting, you know, African Americans or shit like that, or like it wasn't even that deep and he just should have followed protocols?
From what I heard, I mean, I heard his conflicting stories. Like I heard he wasn't even doing shit.
Yeah.
Like, he was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? And like from I guess some of the videos from the other fans or whatever, like I heard he was one being heckled and the other was that he was, you know, he was just chilling. He wasn't even doing shit. You know what I'm saying? And they just can't fucking with him. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cold. Wear a fucking mask. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing else. Like that shit helps with fucking being outside, being cold and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you like, so at the very least, use your fucking mask like some earmuffs for your mouth, like to cover that shit. Use it as a scarf. Cover up your fucking mouth.
Yeah, but
and then
I mean,
Kansas
wear a
City.
mask in terms of that. Like, if you had a public thing, man, you gotta fucking wear a mask. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know that. Like, that's a part of the fucking, you know what I mean? Like the protocol everywhere you fucking go. So just wear the fucking mask. But
yeah.
If it was any foul play on, you know, police part, that shit lame. But, I mean, you know, but Trey got a history. He's just like oppositionally defiant, I think, because I was listening to a podcast today and they were saying that he got like a couple other assault charges on, you know, fucking officers.
He got another assault of an officer,
Trey, you know, I done seen Trey got them fight all type of motherfuckers, so he just like to fight, you know what I'm saying? He just a bad nigga from fucking Petersburg.
What's up with them niggas from VA? What's up with them niggas from VA? They got attitude problems.
Petersburg.
Reminds me of a young Christopher Brown from Tappahannock or wherever that nigga from in VA.
Yeah.
Like, these niggas from VA, these R&B niggas from VA is not not to be messed with. I did hear that as well about, you know, Trey being heckled and things like that. But the one thing that I did see, is that he did not have his mask on at that time. But you know, celebrities feel like, you know, other celebrities have spoken out and celebrities feel like they are unfairly targeted a lot. So take away the black part and the black male part. You are also a black male and a celebrity and they feel like they are unfairly targeted. Not necessarily in this situation or any situation. Do you feel like celebrities are unfairly targeted a lot of times?
I mean, I guess they just have notoriety, so it's easier to spot them. I don't know if
spot them out.
Yeah, I don't know if I've never really thought about it, but I don't know if it's you know, unfair. But I mean, they're notable, so you know.
Yeah,
they're gonna attract
you know, I kind of my thing with celebrities, a lot of celebrities, just in general, is that you want the attention and the, I guess, a level of difference when it benefits you. Right. So when it benefits you, you feel like, yeah, I'm a celebrity. I deserve this, even though the average person would not get these certain benefits and amenities and things like that. And then when it doesn't work in your favor, you're like, oh, I'm being targeted because I'm a celebrity. And I kind of feel like, you know, with anything, you are paid based on risk, you know, and if you are a celebrity, you're getting paid all these gobs amount of money because you've given up parts of your privacy.
Right.
You've given up, you know, in order to make this money. You know what I'm saying? People want to be famous and win all of these awards, but don't mess with me. And it really doesn't work like that. And it really is like more money, more problems. So you can't cry foul. I'm not saying you can't cry foul, because if anything was done unfairly to you, of course, you can speak up about it. You shouldn't be treated unfairly regardless. But it seems to be, you know, more vocal and louder when things are not going in your favor, i.e. Nicki Minaj, i.e. other celebrities, that get into things. But I also feel like as a celebrity, unfortunately, you are, I don't want to say a role model because it's not that's not the job, but you are a public figure and people are paying attention to you, and your check is based upon people paying attention to you. Right. So, you know, I don't know if he was unfairly targeted, but I do know that I still 100% to this day, on January 26, 2021, that I have issue with these celebrities hosting these parties. And it has made me look at a lot of people very differently. And I definitely understand that you have to make money, but at what cost? It gives me very much so the motherfuckers that help the slave masters, like, or help those individuals in Africa load those people on that boat. You know what I'm saying? Black people help with that. Africans help with that. Africans led those white people to the black people and got them to get on this boat, right? So all roads lead to slavery. This podcast ain't new just because it's 2021. All roads still lead to fucking slavery. You know what I'm saying? And Jose Sanchez of The Game, Malik from The Game, tweeted something the other day, and it was very much in line with what I felt like. And it was like, wake the fuck up and stop leading your people into slaughter at the hands of this virus to gain profit and to service your ego. He said, you are facilitating mass extinction in our communities. This must stop. And he had some other things, related to that. But do you fall in line with that? Do you feel, do you feel the same? Do you feel differently? What are your thoughts on that? Because people do, in fact, have to feed their families. But, again, it's at what cost?
Yeah, I agree. I actually retweeted that. I didn't even know it was him. I didn't even pay attention to who it was who tweeted it. But yeah, I definitely agree. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is never going to be over because motherfuckers are continuing to fucking go out and lose their minds, you know what I'm saying? And at the hands of a fucking party, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Yeah. It's tough. Like, this shit has been the most challenging year of my life by any stretch. But, I mean, I ain't finna go to no club, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be feeling weird when I go around my people. Like, I went to my people's house, fucking Saturday and shit, and like, smoked a couple blunts and shit or joints and shit. And it was just like, it was super weird, you know what I'm saying? And then, the next day, like, my fucking, not my throat hurt, but like I felt like it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so then like, you know what I mean? It's just
cause it's mental. It's mental as well.
It's cold outside.
I'm sick once a week when I'm around people. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, what was that? What was that called? What's that feeling in my chest? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't want to get that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not want to have COVID at all. You know what I'm saying? I pray to God that my immune system and I'm able to avoid that shit as much as I can, but yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that shit. Like I said, I retweeted it and, I subscribed to it. And I don't know, man.
It's very unfortunate because I feel like I get it. I totally get it. I get this is how you feed your family. But I feel like, one, if you are a person who can go and sell out a club, that means you are probably pretty popular. Why weren't you saving your money and shit? Second of all right, you don't know when the next, when the money gonna come in, whatever. How about we pawn some of these chains and unnecessary shit to generate you money to make it through this? Like, the class or economic status of these people that we're talking about, even if they are not a person who would make probably as much money as, I don't know, maybe a Trey Songz versus a mulatto. I'm sure their prices are different. You should still be in a place where you have other options to make money at this point in time. I feel like if a regular Joe Smo who lost their job is figuring out how to make this work, then you should be at the very least be able to pawn some shit, take some shit back. Get some money. You should have some savings. You should have some this and that. Cause we're not talking about individuals who live modestly based on the images that they project. Now, granted, social media and internet is all of that is very much smoke and mirrors. But I just don't understand because I'm looking at your mulattoes, your Bow Wows, your everybody, your Erica Banks, everybody who is going into these clubs and they pack, bro. They pack wall to wall. Like people are on top of each other. Like looking at the pictures make me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Looking at the pictures make me uncomfortable, and I operate within my certain bubbles. But even though when I'm going into those bubbles, let me tell you something. I'm taking so many vitamins every single day. Like every day. And I'm around people who, have to take COVID tests. You know what I'm saying? On a very regular basis. So it's kind of one of them things where it's like, all right, like it's nothing for one of my people in my bubble to text and be like, oh, all right, everybody, we good. Like my test came back negative because if I got it, that means all y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, all right, it's people who take the test, whatever, but it's still, I'm taking so many vitamins every day. I'm doing everything that I got to do. Like, even when I'm home and I'm around like my immediate family, I'm just like, we're having Christmas dinner or whatever. It's only my mom and her kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who are there. And like I said, I got a rack of nieces and nephews and shit like that at this point in time. So if you look at the pictures, it definitely looked like a rack of people, but still, it's still like my mom and her kids. And I'm uncomfortable with that for real. But it's just like, all right, this is my risk that I am going to take because at the end of the day, like, I don't know who my brother is hanging around. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who my sister is hanging around. I don't know who my mother's boyfriend is hanging around. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know who I'm hanging around. So we all got to have a level of trust in each other. But still, at the end of the day, that's still like blind faith. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just going to hope that if I keep it to these people, my whole thing is at least I'll be able to track it down. You know what I mean? Like, if I get some shit, I can track it down to where I was. If I go in this club, let me keep it a band for y'all, man. Like, for all y'all people that's in this club, and I live in Atlanta, it's totally popping in Atlanta. Everybody is out. I'm looking at y'all crazy because y'all are a little too comfortable around disease. What's going on with your fucking vaginas? Like how are you this comfortable being around disease to hear fucking In and Out by Mulatto? I got an email about a club, and I promise you for New Year's, it's clubs in Atlanta. I still get flyers and shit like that come to me and all of that. Bro, I promise you it was 3 separate parties at 3 separate clubs for New Year's, and they were being hosted by 3 different social media women who the only reason they are famous is because they either sleep with rappers or have a baby by a rapper. That's their only talent. Like, that's it. So you risking your health to be in the same room with Bernice Burgos or Ari or Jada or these other bitches that y'all idolize because they didn't have some rapper dick inside of them. Like, mind blown. Like, wow. And all of them shits were packed, bro. Like, I'm still following shit on like Instagram and shit like that, seeing what's going on. all of these clubs are packed, and it makes it even worse in Atlanta, Houston, and Miami because everyone is coming from the other states to those particular places and then partying together and taking the shit back to where they are. So the shit is just like expanding, and we're in this second wave of COVID. And I just hate that we're even having this conversation.
Yep.
Fucking 10 months later. It's about to be a year very, very soon. It's just unfortunate. And, you know, I just wish that, you know, celebrities would use their profiles, platforms a little bit better. It makes me sad because there are people that I genuinely fuck with, but I'm looking at you side eye now. Like, the fuck? Or people that I actually know in my real life. Like, oh, you want to come hang out? I just saw you on your story in the hookah club.
Yep.
Packed in the hookah club. Like, on top of each other at the hookah spot. First of all, hookah costs $50 for a nice hookah. You can do that shit in your crib. You can delegate your bubble and have those people in, which again, none of this shit is 100% secure. However, you got a little more control over that. If you trust the people that you're with and if y'all getting tested or not or whatever the case may be, but I ain't about to risk it for no strangers, my nigga.
Right.
Like, it's people that I genuinely fuck with that have been like, hey, I'm in town. I wanted to stop by, not even stay with me. And I'm just straight out like, yeah, I'm not really doing that right now. You know what I'm saying? But however, like, enjoy your trip here. Or whatever. But I'm looking at you like, why are you here? Like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Like, outside of doing like my errands, I don't know what goes on downtown Atlanta. I was in downtown Atlanta the other day because I had to go to the airport. And that's a whole thing. Airport ain't slowed down not one bit. Now, it had slowed down before, but I feel like it's back up and running. But yeah, that is my COVID soapbox. But, you know, Trey Songz, super spreader Songz, putting this officer in a headlock for allegedly not wearing a mask is leadership.
Lit. See how it plays out.
Yeah, I think that it is lit only because you're being called out for some of this shit. And regardless of what the interaction was, whether he struck the cop first or, you know, whatever the case may be, like, I just feel like people need to be held accountable. And that's just where I am right now, especially when you have people listening to you and looking up to you. And unfortunately, all minds are not strong and they need people to lead them. So people are following behind the Trey Songz. Like, if Trey Songz did it, if you have COVID, and then feel like it's okay to operate in areas in which you have a high, chance of catching this virus. If I'm a weak-minded motherfucker, I'm just like, okay, well, Trey Songz had it. He was all right. Like, it should be fine for me to get it. But the only thing about COVID is, like, you could be asymptomatic and take down everybody else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing. If it was a 1-to-1 type thing, you catch it, that's just on you. It don't impact nobody else. I say go ahead and live your life and, you know, just let natural selection take its course. But it's people who could, you know, seriously be following COVID protocols, staying in, older people with underlying conditions and all of that. And then you go and hug grandma and then, you know, next week grandma is on a respirator. Just think about grandma. Let's get into some good old, we talk about, Black people leading others into slaughter. Let's talk about some good old colorism. So singer Danileigh is at the center of social media storm after a snippet of her song, trash song, by the way, called Yellowbone, surfaced last week. And it was just her mouthing, a yellow bone is what he want. A yellow bone is what he want. The song was like ultra super trash. I know me and B had discussion a while back about Danileigh, and, you know, I stood up for Danileigh, and B Ben said that Danileigh music was trash. And I rolled for Danileigh at that point in time. But in the same vein of me riding for Doja Cat, these light-skinned women come back and bite me. Social media was quick to point out the problems in the song, naming colorism and anti-blackness as the core of Yellowbone, while others, was talking about how it was a diss track aimed at the baby ex-girlfriend. And for y'all who don't know, the baby and Danileigh are allegedly together. Despite the call outs, Danileigh kind of doubled down on her song initially, and said, why can't I have a song for my light-skinned baddies? And she said that only God can cancel her, and that shit don't mean shit to her. Danileigh identifies as Dominican, and what I've learned is there are white Hispanics and black Hispanics. There are like Afro Latinos, and there are more European Latinos. I am not Latino, so I can't go deep into their dynamics and how they look at each other, but I know that there is colorism as well within the Latin community. But Danileigh eventually backtracked, issued an apology, said it wasn't something that she looked that deeply into. She definitely didn't keep that same energy. She said that she's sorry she wasn't sensitive about the topic, blah, 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 blah. She dates a chocolate man, so how can she be racist? And also, you know, it was one of those apologies that was not really an apology. It was more so like, hey y'all, don't cancel me, but I'm just sorry y'all took it wrong. That's not what I meant. I know you heard this song, B. What do you feel? It was only 2 seconds. Do you feel like it was colorist? Do you feel like it was colorism, or you feel like it was just music?
The song was trash.
Super.
As far as, I mean,
super.
I don't feel like it was no fucking colorism. She a yellow bone. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was just repping, like, be proud of what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have no issue with it. The song was just fucking garbage. Like, I listened to all of 2 seconds of that shit and cut it off. Cause for one, you know, I don't really feel Danileigh like talking about, so. But nah, I mean, I ain't have a problem with her repping for, you know, her people. You know, I mean, not her people, but just like light-skinned bitches. Like, I ain't see no issue with it. Motherfuckers just like to go off the deep end, man. She should have just shut up and then let that shit ride. And a week later, this week or next week, whenever the fuck the shit came out, she would have been under the bridge and something else would have been happening.
Nah, you know, I have 2 stances on this song, right? Like, my one stance is, I mean, she is a yellow bone. Like, you know, okay. Like, but then once I got more information about the song, about it being a diss track to the baby's baby mama, which they've had all of this shit. Why she fucking with the baby, I have no idea. Like, he constantly goes back and forth. Me personally, I just don't understand how bitches love to look dumb in public. Like, we can date on the low, and we gonna do whatever we gonna do. We gonna keep it low, but like, looking dumb in public is just not something my brain can fucking compute. However, that's neither here or there. When I heard it was a diss track against the baby's baby mama, I was just like, so out of all the shit you could have said, you wanted to go on the fact that she was a dark-skinned bitch and you are a fucking light-skinned hoe. Like, then it started to click to me about the colorism part, because I'm sure there were a million things you could have said to kind of hurt this girl's feelings. So if I'm trying to diss you, I'm going to say what's great about me and what's stupid about you. And the thing that is pulled out of that is a yellow bone is what he want, bitch. He don't want this dark skinned bitch. He want this yellow bone. Like, this is what he likes. And from that lens, and that lens only, I definitely saw the colorism in that. And I think that is very interesting. And give me your perspective on this, because from a color spectrum standpoint, I consider you and myself pretty much in the middle. I feel like I'm a brown skinned person. I never get caught up in the light or the dark, because I personally don't feel like I fit in either category. I'm just fucking brown. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a neutral fucking color of brown. You know what I'm saying? Where I've had people in my family tell me otherwise because my family is a little darker majority of them are darker. So of course, according to them and them being considered dark skinned, they'll say things like to me like, oh, you light. And I'm like, nah, ain't no way I'm light. Like, I'm just brown. Like, I'm just neutral. Where do you feel like you fit on the color spectrum? And have you ever had to deal with any colorism of your own outside of just being a black man?
Nah, I'm just brown. Just a brown skinned fella.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a perfect complexion.
Yeah. And he got brown skin elitism. He has that colorism for the perfect shade of brown, baked accordingly on 375 for 15 minutes, and you come out the perfect golden brown. I don't really identify on either side, but I understand the complexities that goes into colorism. I understand why individuals want mulatto to change her name, cause that shit is crazy, and that shit is, you're basically calling yourself a fucking mutt. Like, yeah, that's what mulatto is.
What mulatto
like,
comes from is, it's a fucking mule, cause a mule is the spawn of a horse and a donkey. So
yes.
That's it. It stems back from slavery and shit, but that's what they call it.
Yes, and it's not a compliment at all.
Yeah, no, it's not. I didn't know that until maybe
it's a racist term.
Yeah, because I didn't know that.
Oh, I always knew that.
I mean, I knew it was a racist term, but I didn't know the origin. Like, I didn't know it came from like a mule, because a mule is a donkey and a fucking horse.
I knew that. I knew that it related to that and to animals and shit like that. But the funny thing about colorism, especially from where it stems from, like, these light-skinned women were put on a pedestal for being lighter, when really, if we're talking about the time period, your mother was just the subject of rape from the slave master. And that's where these fucking half-white children came from, these half-breed children came from, but they were held. It's just like, now, don't get it twisted, 5% you black, they don't fuck with you, period. However, it has transformed, and gone on through generations where, high yellow women are coveted. Do you still feel like high yellow women are coveted in today's society?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, light-skinned bitch is always going to be top tier.
And why is that?
All roads lead
like,
to
from a male perspective, yeah. It's been indoctrinated into and ingrained into the culture to think that is the trophy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I see that. I feel that. It's very interesting to me because I was having this colorism conversation recently, and I feel like there is a double standard between light-skinned men and light-skinned women. Light-skinned women are like, oh, I want an exotic bitch. I want a light-skinned bitch. I want a light-skinned wavy hair bitch. And she is the trophy. However, light-skinned men are considered weak.
Yep.
Do you feel like that? Do you see it the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty.
You're like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's how it goes.
I ain't think about it, but yeah, absolutely.
And it's very interesting to me as well because the women I know who prefer light-skinned men are normally darker. So it's kind of that indoctrination, what you said about the men, that goes into dark-skinned women as well. Mm-hmm. They want lighter-skinned men because it comes from a reproductive place where you just like, I want my kid to have fucking good hair. Mm-hmm. And all of these things that, or it will balance it out. I'm darker, he's lighter. Maybe they'll get to that perfect shade of brown, like, B Hill. You know what I'm saying? With wavy hair, like your son Bubba.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and shit like that. So it kind of comes from a reproductive place. But I definitely know women who just like, I like a light-skinned nigga, like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, they just with that. And I know a lot of light-skinned women who are like, hell no, I ain't messing with no light-skinned nigga. Like, I want me a da baby. I want me a chocolate man.
But it's all about preference.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like people have preferences. Like, you like white sneakers. You know what I'm saying? You might not like white sneakers and shit. You might like light-skinned girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got what they like. You know what I'm saying? Niggas like big bitches. Niggas don't. Some people think, certain, weights get, are too big or some shit like that. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about preference. I don't have no issue with, some niggas like niggas. And you know what I'm saying? Some women like women.
Some niggas like niggas.
So like, you know what I'm saying? It's all about preference. It's whatever you like. You know what I'm saying? But see for every ass out that motherfucker. So, I ain't.
No.
That shit, I ain't judging you.
I'm with that. I think that, I agree with that, because I have that argument all the time. I say that, whatever your preference is, whatever gets you going is on you. Like, I don't necessarily have a color preference, but I do know that dark skin, nice dark skin, it just does something different for me. You know what I'm saying? However, I've dated throughout the whole shade. You know what I mean? The whole spectrum of, from your high yellow to your dark. But I feel like, that dark skin, then don't put dimples on it, and it's crazy. I just feel like that's me. I think the problem comes in when people try to use it more so as preferences for other things, like opportunities and things like that. Like, you are a producer and you need a light-skinned woman because you feel like she would sell better versus the best actress. Right. You know what I'm saying? For it and things like that. So it's when, racism or colorism comes into play. And I personally feel, and we're going to have James back on a little bit later, I feel like, personally, white people are more accepting. Even though a nigga's a nigga, they're more accepting of light skin. Dark skin scares them. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes you look violent or, whatever the case may be. I do feel like, though, moving along to kind of wrap this up, I do in fact feel like, I feel like dark-skinned women have the freedom to talk about being chocolate and this is what he likes. If Danileigh's song was just about her being yellow, which there's still controversy about that, because they're just like, you're not even black. Yellow only refers to black women. Do you feel like that?
Nah, it's mad different. It's mad different variations of Dominican or Spanish women. Like, you got dark, like Spanish motherfuckers is blacker than you and I, and then you got light skin. So like, I don't know. People just be giving.
But the actual term "yellow bone" it was originated in the black community.
Which is stupid too.
Do you feel like it's okay?
So like, fuck,
yeah, that's how slang kind of works.
It's stupid too.
That's how slang kind of works. But I do feel like light-skinned women should be able to celebrate their skin tone as well, as long as it's not a diss to someone else.
Anybody should be able to celebrate.
Like, I should be able to celebrate me.
Let them celebrate. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's not, you know what I'm saying? If it's white power and it's not like denouncing other motherfuckers, then I'm fine with that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, be happy in the skin that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Shit. Yeah. Motherfuckers be giving way too much energy to way too much shit. It's motherfuckers, that shit is really out here.
I got you. Like, I feel you. But I feel like with Danileigh, this is the beginning of your career, and, your music is going to be targeted to women. Niggas not listening to your music. So you need to keep your audience happy. So you're going to have to go out here and humble yourself. And that's another thing with being an artist and being famous. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have to concede and just be like, my bad, in order to get this bag. You know what I'm saying? But Danileigh, Yellow Bones is what I like. It's what the baby likes. Is that leadership?
The song sucks. It's trash.
Yeah. The song is trash. That's shit. We going with shit. Last but not least, well, I like my little baby. And I listened to like one of her first albums, and she redid the song. Well, she didn't redo it, but she had like a hit maker twist on, the song that goes, and I just got to be me. Mm-hmm. and free that joint. She did a little take on that joint. That joint go hard. I like that song. I personally, like some of the songs that Danileigh makes. But I don't see it ending well for her if she goes on this path. For sure. Last but not least, Erica Campbell of the group Mary had some words, on Instagram talking about, members of the clergy, preachers, ministers, all of that. They should refrain from double tapping on thirst traps on their timelines and, IG. And she says, hey, preachers and pastors, you should rethink liking pictures of ladies in sexy bikinis, especially when you are married. Even when the caption is deep and spiritual, you shouldn't double tap. Do you think that is true? Do you feel like just because you are a preacher or a pastor that you should not like these secular
Those
pictures?
comments were amazing. Them shits was great. Somebody said, the Lord is my shepherd, he know what I want type shit. So, I mean, you know, that's just some shit that you gotta deal with your spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like I think another comment I saw was, there go Christians being fucking police again type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, if you like a picture, you like a picture. Like, if you looked at it in a magazine, you like, damn, it's a nice picture. Or, you know, not without, it's you liking it in your mind. So it's no different than you putting it on social media. Maybe it is a little bit because it's for the masses to see, but I don't know, man. I don't give a lot of stock in that shit. Like, if you like the picture, you like the picture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now if you go into the DMs and doing all that other type scandalous shit, then that's a different story. But like, if you just like the picture, I ain't got no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all. Like, not one bit, to be totally honest. Pastor or anybody, because you still flesh. You know what I'm saying? If you like some shit, you like some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't, if you taking it to the next level, like in terms of, like I said, DMing and trying to do some fuck shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, then that gets a little sketchy. But in terms of liking the picture, I don't have no issue with it. It's a fucking picture.
No, I definitely understand that. My opinion differs just a little bit, and it goes back to something we said on a previous show, in which if this is the way that you are setting up your religion, if this is the way that you are saying in order to have this walk from God, you got to check off all these boxes, live this certain ways, XYZ, kind of like, I think we were talking about, Justin Bieber's pastor, getting in trouble for like cheating and shit like that, which I feel like that's just a human thing, right? Like, people are flesh and all of those things. But if you choose to take on this role to perpetuate this ideal of Christian perfection, then you should definitely be held to the same standards. Why are you out here liking pictures of women in bikinis? And pet peeve of mine, listen, women, if you just want to post a picture of you in a bikini, or you about to go out to the club, or if you just feel like you look cute, then have that be it. Don't post these deep fucking captions on these superficial ass pictures, bruh. Like, we're not buying it. You didn't enhance it. 9 times out of 10, if your caption is more than one sentence, we're not reading it anyway.
For sure.
So you're wasting your time. Like, stop. Just say, I look cute. I got my hair done. Look at my ass. Like, whatever it is, like, keep it a G. Keep it a buck. Like, keep it 100. But I definitely feel like, based on the structure in which they have set up for being a Christian, I feel like it's a violation. You can't be out here telling people what to do and what not to do and all this, and then you get a pass to do whatever the fuck you want to do and make excuses for it. So I feel like you should just be a real nigga. Like, you should be a preacher. I feel like any preacher should be like, look, this is what it means to be a good person. But I guess if they went on that route, you wouldn't have different religions, right? So they're trying to figure out a way to make things exclusive. They're trying to figure out a way to make people feel like they have to follow a certain path. But I feel like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, you know what I'm saying? If these are things you will frown upon with your congregation, I don't feel like you should indulge in those types of behaviors, personally. But from just my point of view, everybody should do what the fuck they want to do. But you can't be out here being a hypocrite. And I think that's where my issue always lies with religion and, just religion, period. And the sheep that go along with these particular rules. And if you don't follow these particular rules to a T, then you are not a good Christian, or you are not a good Catholic, or you are not a good whatever, insert religion here. But I know that so the busted challenge was going on.
Great challenge.
over the past. I agree. I'm down for the busted challenge. I like the busted challenge. I like it better than probably all of the challenges that occur, especially during COVID. People were complaining about, this still going on, mostly women. We're complaining like, we need to end this challenge, It's one, cause you don't have busted material. And you couldn't participate in the challenge. But we looked at that fucking dope rush challenge at the beginning of COVID for fucking 2 months, and all these other challenges, Corvette, all that shit. But everybody got these problems with the busted challenge. I heard a lot of women having issues with their niggas just sitting around and all they hearing is busted over and over and over again. Is the busted challenge different than anything else? Like, would your wife have a problem with you sitting there and she hear Erica Banks over and over again as you're scrolling
she heard it.
your Instagram? Hey, I feel like you might have one of the coolest wives out there. Shout out to Tim. Because whenever I bring up some shit, you be like, oh, she don't have no problem with it.
I mean, like, I'm literally at the house every day. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's nothing I'm doing. Like, if I'm watching.
Is there a difference between like you tapping a picture or commenting as a married man? In your opinion, is there a difference between you tapping on a picture of Meg Thee Stallion versus you tapping on a picture and making a comment of like a bitch you actually know that may be dressed like Meg Thee Stallion? Does that ever cause issues?
Nah, my wife don't be tripping, bro.
She doesn't really care?
Nah. Yeah. I mean, like,
that's dope.
Nah, she don't, I mean, I don't give her a reason to, you know what I'm saying? I don't be. Shit, like, it's bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying? Whatever gonna come to, what is done in the dark.
Do you have issues with that?
Nah, I don't. Not at all.
Do you have issues with her tapping a picture of Trey Songz shirtless versus the nigga y'all seen in the neighborhood shirtless?
Well, I don't follow the nigga in the neighborhood, so I wouldn't notice that. But, I mean, I wouldn't.
I'm just saying if you were made aware of it at all. Like,
I mean, nah. I really don't. Like, I don't. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
If I got to worry about, like, like I said, I don't go snooping through phones. I don't do none of that weird shit. Like, if it's gonna happen, whatever's done in the dark and done in the dark will come to the light one way or the other. So, you know, when it comes to my doorstep,
real talk.
When it comes to my doorstep, that's when I'll deal with it. But nah, man, people give social media way too much, like, credence and fucking privilege in their lives. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And she's not. So, you know, shout out to everybody who does and, you know, lives and swears by it. But nah, that ain't how my shit rock.
Yeah. Hey, I think that is dope. I think that is a good structure that you guys have set up, because it's never really like a bunch of different issues. I think when you are in a relationship, from my standpoint, it is a difference between you liking a picture and you going in having a bunch of shit to say about a picture of a person that is within reach, that is within touch.
Yeah, I mean, if you get disrespectful in the comments, like, damn, I fucked the shit out you or some, you know what I'm saying? Like some egregious ass fucking super disrespectful shit, then no. Or even like looking good or some shit. Like, even looking good, like, if motherfuckers look good, they look good. I wouldn't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, now if you like showing hard eyes and kissy faces and, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just tell levels of disrespect. Like, I ain't for no disrespect, but I ain't finna disrespect no one. You know what I'm saying? Like, type shit. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and don't say names, cause you'll know who I'm talking about. So there, a group of, friends of mine had a very good weekend, and they posted some very nice pics, the other day, right? So, I am their representative of sorts. I guess I've been deemed the representative, so motherfuckers was hitting me like, damn, like, what the fuck? Like, she fucking thick, she fat, she this, da 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 da, right? And what we joked about, what we joked about in the group chat was I called out a very specific person, who is a mutual friend of ours that we all went to school with, or not we all, cause we don't all know each other from school, but the foundation of my interaction with this group is they are, women that I went to school with and my very, 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 very good friends. But it was a guy who is a pastor of sorts. Look on his page. He always got some Bible scriptures or some shit like that. And his comment on her page was, God damn, how you get all that through the metal detector?
God, man. Like, who is gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna call him, cause that is sexy. Like, what, bro? Like, I mean, that's just bad. Like, that's just bad. Like, I'm always down for a funny comment and shit, you know what I mean? But goddamn, man. Like, he was dead serious. Like, he was on some old nasty man shit. Like, he got some change in his pocket.
But he a young dude. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was. And I don't know about young. I guess relatively young. He's the same age group, you know, as us. But I was just like, damn, you even had the fucking Bible thumping nigga just straight out wide open. Not even in the DM.
Yeah,
like straight there on the message.
Like, God damn, or something. Like, what the fuck?
Right, hit it on the story. For sure. Hey, that is funny to me because listen, people see certain shit and they lose their shit. Like, god damn, like I can't even listen, I get it. They are easy on the eye. I get it. It's great. They are easy on the eye, but you gotta control yourself. Especially, you know what I'm saying, if you married and you are in a certain profession, like, you can think some shit, but you ain't always gotta say it. You know what I'm saying? Or, like you said, like, at least go off camera with the shit. Like, don't be wide the fuck open, man. Like, calm down. But I definitely think that there were
moving, man. If you're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
facts. I feel like the fire emoji is very neutral. It's different than the heart eye emoji.
That shit is ambiguous as fuck. Like, you can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's good enough to like get the motherfucker attention, and then if they, you know what I'm saying, spark some additional conversation off the person who received the fire emoji, then that's that, or not. It's just, you know, can receive a little like and keep it hot. You know what I'm saying? It's very neutral. You know what I'm saying? No, it's very vanilla. You know what I mean? It can be taken
very vanilla,
however you like for it to be taken. So,
hey, listen, fellas, listen to B Hill. He gonna teach you how to move in a room full of vultures. Like, don't get wild.
Yeah, just chill, bro.
Like, I was just like, God damn. Horny, man. And that always be your shit too, man. Niggas be horny.
Niggas do, man. Niggas be horny, bro. I'm telling you, motherfuckers be horny as hell. Like, shit, the motherfucker look good.
Hey, that's why I was just like, I know a lot of fucking dicks were beat to the Busted Challenge. I know it.
Shit, motherfuckers start riding them now. I was saying some bitches riding dick, man. That shit was wild.
Hey, I saw some shit where a bitch was riding some real dick and a bitch did the Busted Challenge, and then the next shit was her being bust on all over her face, like jacking the dick on her face. And I was fucking disgusted. Like, bitch, have a little bit of class. Like, this ain't even OnlyFans. This is Instagram. Yeah. Or TikTok. Like, take that shit to OnlyFans. Adults can adult, but just know the place and time for that shit. Listen, I'm not here to judge what you into. Just understand time and place and how that shit is going to impact you in the future. If you are not a certified porn star,
right? Just
understand how that shit may impact you. Preachers liking secular pictures is leadership.
I'm alright with it. I don't got no problem with it. Just don't get weird. It's lit for me.
Yeah, I think that is shit. Walk your fucking path that you preach. And that's how I feel about that. Let's move along to, you ready to give out some advice?
Yeah.
Real quick. All right. We about to get into our two ain't shit in 2 cents. Y'all we've been on hiatus. I'm warming back up. We gonna get on, ain't shit in 2 cents is our listener letter segment where we give advice, to listeners who clearly don't care about, getting advice from people who are not certified to give advice. That is on the Redo and the vodka. Today's letter comes from Bored as Danielle. That's how she writes her name. And she says, happy 2020 part 2, y'all. You ain't gonna put that on us? I don't want that. I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that in my spirit. But she says, happy 2020 part 2, y'all. She said, I don't normally write or call into any shows, but you two are my favorites. So I figure it will either help and at the very least, it will be funny. So, appreciate.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
She says, as we go into the 10th month of COVID, I think that it is fair to say that we are all over it, especially my fiance and I. We have been together for 4 years, engaged officially for 1 year. We plan on getting married, and she puts fingers crossed in 2022. She says he and I are very cautious about COVID due to the fact that we both have parents who are high risk and we want to continue to visit them and care for them as required. We both work from home and are together 99.9% of the time. We have tried to make the best of COVID and used it as a time to get to know each other on a deeper level. However, that got old really quick. In the first 6 months, we had a really good time being together. Now, after work, I am planted in front of the television and he is in the basement playing video games or watching YouTube for hours. Or the Busted Challenge. I added that piece. But watching YouTube for hours. She says, I fall asleep on the couch and he will come wake me up. We both head to the bedroom and we sleep, wake up, do it again. I realized a couple months ago that we had not had sex in almost 2 weeks. It's not that we are not attracted to each other. I think that it's just the fact that we are together 24/7, 365 and never have a chance to miss each other. Do you two have any advice on how to keep things exciting during the panty, sexually, and on a day-to-day? But also, how do you keep the spark with yourself as this is going on? I feel unmotivated. Help me locate the spark, y'all. And that is sincerely Bored as Danielle.
Bored as Danielle. I don't know. It's hard for me to, like, when people talk about, I'm just horny. So, like, I be wanting to have sex. Like, so I'm not going to allow 2 weeks to pass. Like, the only time that an extended amount of time goes by where there's no fucking going on is during the period. And I hate the period. The period is the worst.
Everybody hates the period. Reasons. Whether you have one or you gotta wait for one. Reasons. Like, periods fucking suck.
The fucking worst. Yeah, especially like, yeah, shit's trash. And for more than one reason. So the spark, like, I mean, I can't really tell you, honestly, cause like my sexual escapades have heightened during the pandemic. They were really, really good when the pandemic first jumped off. Still very good, but, in terms of like, I don't know, I guess I'm just super attracted to my wife. Like every time she get out of the shower and be drying off and shit, I'll be fucking, I'm horny. I'm just a horny, nasty man. So, yeah, I just be like, shit, you know
nasty man.
So, I don't know. I mean, just.
Have y'all had to get creative at all? Mm-mm. I mean, I understand you're horny, but at the end of the day, like, even if you're having sex with someone, you're actually having sex. Like, sex can get mundane at times if you're doing the same 4 moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you keep shit fresh?
I don't know. It just be good every time. I don't know. Our sex has been good for fucking 15 fucking years, I guess. So I don't know. I don't really, I mean, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I just walk around naked and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit gonna spark interest regardless. Like, if the nigga playing YouTube downstairs, just go start sucking them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do stuff out of the norm. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when, if you only got no kids, y'all can definitely be having sex all the time. Like, when you got kids, you got to, like, you know, strategize and, you know, wait till one folks go to bed and shit. But when you ain't got no kids.
and do it light.
Yeah.
And not be loud.
Hell no, we be loud about that.
Oh God, y'all traumatizing y'all kids. I remember hearing my parents have sex one time, and I'm still traumatized by that.
You know, so it's a part of growing up.
It's a rite of passage, right?
But yeah, I mean,
kinda.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. As far as that go, like, you don't have to.
How do y'all keep the spark as far outside of sex? I guess is an additional question. Like,
I mean,
how
we
do
just
y'all
laugh and
keep
joke.
shit
Like,
interesting?
we just watch TV together and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I can't really pinpoint. I mean, it's been a lot because the motherfuckers, you know, I mean, we definitely argue more because we are, you know, around each other all the fucking time and shit. Like, so, you know, arguments have, you know, lasted a little longer and, you know, fucking be a little more angry.
Yeah.
But, I mean, our relationship.
How do y'all bounce back from that?
We talk about it. Like, I ain't finna, like, keep walking past you and be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is weird. Like, I ain't finna keep walking past you in the, you know, the kitchen and, you know what I'm saying, trying to go get something to eat because we gotta eat and shit like that. That shit's just stupid. Like, so let's just deal with it. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Get over it, you know, and do whatever. And then, like, we just silly as hell. Me and my old lady just get along. You know what I'm saying? Like,
y'all are friends.
Yeah, that's my nigga.
That's
you know
what
what I'm saying? That's my dog.
Like.
So, like,
that's goals right there.
For sure.
Like, people don't understand me when I say that. Like, when I choose to be in a relationship, like, I can date and I can situationship all day long, but for me to sign up for this contract that I'm going to be with you and just you and work on whatever, building a future or whatever, you gotta be my friend. Like, I gotta be able to hang out with you. Like, you have to be a person that I would hang out with even if we didn't have a sexual relationship.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that, because I talk to a lot of people, men and women, who just like, nah, like, if we weren't together, I wouldn't be friends with them. We wouldn't hang out, you know? And I'm just like, how? So it's great to hear you saying, like, pretty much like, that's my nigga, that's my homie, because that's the way I feel. The individuals that I've been in relationships with, I felt like, you are my nigga who I like having sex with.
Yep.
Like, that has to be the foundation. Like, friendship has to be the foundation. I have to want to be around you, because at the end of the day, looks gonna fade, shit gonna sag, shit might not work how it used to. You know what I'm saying? Just with life and getting older, and, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be 60 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old and still be like, this my nigga. So I think that is just like super dope, like you and your wife, and based on the information that you provide, like, it seems genuine. Like, y'all seem to like be on the same page as far as like y'all vibe and y'all friendship and shit like that, and not really like sweating the small stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So how do they get there?
I don't know, man. I mean, this time is like no other, you know, it's unprecedented, obviously, for multiple reasons. But, you know, one of those reasons being, you know, especially if you work from home, being around them fucking all times of the day, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, even if it's, you know, to the point where like they go and kick it, you know, go kick with your parents one day and he go kick it with his, and y'all, you know, get a break that way, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, as far as sexual shit, you just gotta do some shit. Just, you know, kiss a motherfucker on the neck, you know what I'm saying? And just do some shit. Like, if the attraction is gonna be there, that shit gonna shake, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, especially if you ain't got no kid, you can do fuck wherever you want to, you know what I'm saying? At a drop of a notice or a drop of a dime. So, do shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, just, you know, just gotta make it interesting, watch new shows and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a lot that you can do, you know what I mean? But you gotta, you know, just laugh and joke and play cards, just do shit that you don't necessarily normally do, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that might help, you know what I mean? Go exercise, go take a walk, you know what I mean? Like, maybe not bring your phone and just talk to each other, some shit like that. Who knows? It's a bunch of shit you can do though.
Yo, I think those are super dope recommendations. That was kind of on what I was thinking as well. And I'm just like, you know, if you're watching shows and he's down there playing the game, you know what I'm saying? It may be something where you can go learn how to play the game. See if you like it.
Don't play
that. You know
don't play the
game
with a man. No. Let that man play the game. Let that man play the game.
Hey, a side note, I set up my old school game station in my office. I've been using it. I got a Super Nintendo. I got a Nintendo 64. I got a Wii and a PlayStation 2. All set up. in my office, in my home office, and the shit is totally lit. I love it. I used to love gaming when I was younger and games were more simple. These games today are super fucking complex and they look like movies. Graphics were trash back in the day. Like I'm on my HD TV looking at these pixelated images. Of course, like you got like the Wii, which is which more current and a little bit more clear, but it's still like, sometimes when I walk in on like my cousins or whomever is playing games, I can't tell that shit is a game. Yeah. Like it looked like a whole fucking movie and shit, or it looked like real live basketball and football and like shit of that nature. But it is still something to like the nostalgic feel of playing a Mario Brothers or a NBA Live or a Tecmo Bowl or, you know what I'm saying? Like all that shit is super dope. But there are, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you have to share interests and you have to be open because, you know, I'm sure there has been shows where you like, that shit not for me because I know you real set on what you like, what you don't like, whatever. And then you might be sitting there, your wife might just be looking at the shit and then you're just like interested, right? Now you need to know how the shit end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you need to look at each other's interests. Y'all trapped in the house. So what are y'all doing? Like, I say, hey, go play a game, introduce him to a show. Definitely what B said. It sounds like y'all are not getting out the house as much. Work out together. Go take a walk together. I'm not saying go to the gyms. I know that individuals are going to the gym. I think a lot of people are going to the gym. If you feel comfortable with the gym, that's on y'all. But you know what I'm saying? Like, do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Go on a fucking road trip. Like, I feel like these hotels are going through, shit to make sure that they are following protocols to make sure that they're sanitizing the rooms and shit. It's the winter time. Go get a beachfront room. Go get a beachfront room. They cheap as a bitch. You get the fucking ocean. You get to chill in the room. You got the ocean. Y'all can fuck all day. It's lit. You know what I'm saying? Just figure out some ways to get out the house and also piggybacking off what B said, like go somewhere for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like even if it is a time that you leave and I don't know how comfortable y'all relationship is, go get a hotel in town. You know what I'm saying? You go, you do your thing, y'all away from each other for a day or two, and now y'all have had a chance to miss each other. Because I do for a fact understand. Listen, you show me the sexiest person you know, I'll show you the person that's tired of fucking them. You know what I'm saying? Only because people become comfortable around each other. So now you're not this glammed up thing that, you know, he saw on a regular basis. He see you with your bonnet on. You got some shorts on. You might have had on for 2 days. You got on a dingy robe. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. We all getting comfortable. Everybody wearing sweats every day. Get up, put on an outfit just cause. Right. Just for him. Or, you know, he put on something just for you. Look good. Get that fresh haircut. Look like you going somewhere even though you not. Set up a date in the backyard or, you know what I mean? Like whatever. But it is a situation where you have to get creative. I think missing a person is integral to sustaining a relationship in my opinion because I get over shit real quick. Right. And, you know what I'm saying? Once you get comfortable, y'all farting in front of each other, all the mystery is gone. It just happens in a relationship. It just happens. It brings y'all closer as people. But it kind of takes away the mystery around like the sex and things like that. So, yeah, my final recommendation is just try something outside of the box that you guys have done. And I know that your question is not only sexual, but just from a day to day. And you said, what are you doing for yourself? Like, you know, one of the things that I try to do for myself in order to make sure that I'm not getting bogged into the day to day of, you know, working. My whole thing about it is like, I work all day. And then if I'm alone, I am probably watching TV or I am doing some work. And I'm just like, I need to switch it up. So sometimes I might just switch up my day. I might, if the weather is okay, I might go work outside or take a walk or something like that just to, I know you can't go and do the things that you would normally do. I'm definitely not doing the things that I would normally do, and I miss it. I miss it so much, and I miss it even more because at first, at least I had hope. I was just like, oh, it'll be over in a couple months. Now that the light at the end of the tunnel is looking dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, that weighs on your mental. So you have to figure out, I saw a meme the other day, where it was just like, and I think I posted it and it said, when COVID is over, it's starting to sound like when I win the lottery.
Right.
And I was like, damn, like that's true as fuck. Okay. Like that's depressing as fuck. That is depressing as fuck. But B, do you have any last advice for bored ass Danielle?
Nah, I think I ran it up.
All right. Well, Danielle, let us know if any of these things were funny and or helpful. And if any of you want any of this A1 uncertified advice, hit us up at the ain'tshitshow@gmail.com and your letter may get read on the show. So we are going to get into some free smoke. Free smoke is where we talk about any hot button issues, personal topics. It can be anything we want, anything from politics to petty. And today's topic is 2021 politics recap. A lot has changed in the few weeks that we went on our hiatus, B. I started the show off and I said, Trump is gone. And now, we have a black female vice president and we have, Joe Biden and, the vibes are really different, but a lot of things have happened politics wise in the past couple weeks that I want us to touch on quickly, before we wrap up this episode of the show. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Ku Klux Klan. On the 6th, January 6th, insurrectionists, aka Trump supporters, rushed the fucking Capitol. Took over that bitch. What the fuck were you thinking when that shit went on? What were your thoughts? Like, you're watching this real time, I'm assuming, like the rest of us. What were you thinking?
It was funny because I actually was, James, who's been on the show before, my white political pundit, I guess. He was on teams like, he was like, man, he's like, these motherfuckers is tripping. Like, he didn't say that, but he said it in James terms, all eloquent and white. And I was like, man, so I started looking at my phone. I was like, man, so I looked and, I really wasn't paying it no mind. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers just on another rally type shit. And then like these niggas kept looking at my phone and shit and, just looking at my phone and looking. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like every time I would open my phone, like it was getting, I think I hit you too.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, yo, check on your people, man. Make sure they straight. Cause I know, your family from DC and shit.
Yeah, you hit me. You definitely hit me.
Yeah. I think you were the first person I hit, matter of fact. And then, it just increasingly got worse and worse and worse and, started seeing fucking, I think the first thing that threw me off was I seen like a big ass cross, you know what I'm saying? Like a damn 20-foot cross and shit. I'm thinking like they about to burn this shit. And I'm like, oh shit. So that's when I was like, oh, and then, just as it just started seeing motherfuckers climbing the wall, even though it was a fucking walkway and shit. It was just crazy, man. All that shit was just nuts. It was just a very wild day. It was wilder than the Gucci Man and Jesus battle. I ain't think I would see nothing wilder than that.
That shit was so wild to me, B. Let me tell you why it was so wild to me. Because it wasn't necessarily wild to me that it was going on because, we've been predicting for a very long time that it was going to, all this shit was going to come to a boil and come to a head. But we didn't actually know how the Civil War was going to start. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just going to be out here shooting motherfuckers? Like, what do they do? We already knew that the Trump supporters was just like, we're not gonna take it. Like, they just like, no, hey, homeboy who don't even fuck with us said he won. Trump don't even fuck with these niggas. That be the crazy part. Like, Trump just be using y'all. He gave him a speech and told him he was going to be right there with him and was not right there. You remember when they had that fucking march for him before in DC after the fucking election? He drove right through the shit and went to fucking Florida and didn't stop, say a speech or anything. But the craziest part about that was not that they attempted to storm the Capitol, that they were successful in storming the Capitol. The fact that they were able to, I am from DC. Okay. Grew up, born and raised in DC. So these buildings that y'all covet, like the Capitol and the White House and, you know, the Washington Monument, like all that shit, the Lincoln Monument, all that shit, that was just scenery. You know what I'm saying? Like we went to all that shit a million times where we were cool. I mean, when we were in school. Funny because kids don't even go on trips like that in DC, which is crazy. You there with all that history, all these museums. And we talked about that before. But I was surprised when I'm seeing these people make it to the steps. Then I see them up the steps. And then I see them busting out windows. Then I see cops taking selfies with them. And I see cops helping them up and down the steps. And my mind is just blown. Like, America, just when I think there's nothing else that can happen in America that will surprise me, I know white privilege is a thing. I know that. We talk about that all day. We beat y'all in the head with that every single week. But the fact that they made it inside, the fact that thousands of them made it inside, the fact that they made it to the Senate floor, the fact that they sat at Nancy Pelosi's desk, the fact that Mike Pence was just right there in that seat blew my fucking mind. Like, it blew my mind. And I think that was the part that was so crazy because we just saw Black Lives Matter up there. And they were strapped up. They had the National Guard. They had everybody. We've seen this uprising go on since George Floyd, was killed. And we've seen the National Guard. We've seen all types of tactics used. Listen, they had so much anxiety and angst around Wendy's burning, which, again, that wasn't even something we did. Target being looted, all of these shits. And I'm just like, if you care about a fucking Wendy's and a Target, ain't no way you about to let these niggas up in the Capitol where they are actively counting electoral votes. Surprise the fuck out of me. Surprise the fuck out of me. You were.
Was wild. I was just up there a couple weeks before all that shit, like, the latter part of December. And
you can't even just be walking and chilling. Like, there was a lady who got shot for making a U-turn. They killed that lady. Yeah. They shot her and killed her for making a U-turn, a black lady. Yeah. A U-turn at a checkpoint and killed her. However, you let thousands of motherfuckers roll up and storm the Capitol. Like, it was like this amazement thing. And then it was this unsettling thing that kind of made me sad because I was just like, if these individuals were black, we would still be picking up bodies and identifying them right now. They just would have opened fire. You can't even just be walking and chilling. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a lady who got shot for making a U-turn. They killed that lady. They shot her and killed her for making a U-turn, a black lady. A U-turn at a checkpoint and killed her. However, you let thousands of motherfuckers roll up and storm the Capitol. Like, it was like this amazement thing, and wild, then it was this unsettling thing that kind of made me sad because I was just like,
getting bail or bond.
If these individuals were black, we would still be picking up bodies and identifying them right now. They just would have opened fire. They started to go fund me for you, man. We can't post free, you know what I'm saying, Happy Jack out this bitch, cause, I mean, regardless, you decided to go with it. And it was crazy, the black people that we did see there. Again, black people. I love black people. I love black people. Black is hard, but black is lit. Like, we gonna have fun. The fucking memes that came out of that shit was hilarious. I like the fact that individuals was like, oh, this they problem. Y'all need to sit back. Don't even go and try to be a part of that shit. Let them handle that. I never thought I would see the day where white people turned on white people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
well, I mean,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, in our lifetime,
yeah.
right. Like, I never thought where I see like white people turn on white people. And it was so crazy because you had like the nigga walking out with the fucking podium and tried to sell that bitch on eBay for $15,000.
Oh yeah, Chip. That was Chip.
You
from HGTV.
You had like the nigga like literally sitting in fucking Mike Pence's chair. Like, you had motherfuckers sitting on that in Nancy Pelosi's desk, like taking pictures and shit. Like, nigga, we here, like documenting all this shit, snitching on yourself, because white privilege is just that amazing. Like, white privilege is just that amazing. Whereas a couple days later, we're seeing white people get arrested at the fucking airports and shit like that. And they legit are saying like, I didn't do anything wrong. So when y'all had the white meeting, right? So this had to take some type of coordination, right? We gonna be here at this time and this is what we're doing, right? The military, and all of that, and what do you call it? Defense, the Homeland Security, all that shit, FBI. They trying to place blame on why they didn't have intel about this happening, whatever. But the thing about it is, these white people coordinated a time and an action, and they followed through with that shit, right? Black people would have never been able to do that. You would have had a nigga showing up 2 hours late. You would have had to be like, all right, y'all, we gonna storm the shit at 2:00 when really y'all trying to storm the shit at 4:00. You just gotta get everybody there. You gotta get everybody there. But they did some type of coordination and behind the scenes to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, they were all there. And then I legit see white people on TV going, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't understand. The president told us to do it. I feel like he should pardon us. I didn't do anything wrong. Is that just white privilege, or is that like just pure delusional? Even though your sentence ain't gonna be the same.
All that shit. I think that shit is the same. That shit is one and the same, man. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers are delusionally white privilege. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. That shit crazy. Like, that shit was the wildest shit ever, man. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, the motherfuckers were smearing shit on the walls. Like, who, like, did you bring the shit with you? Or like, did you go and like shit in your hand and like put it on the walls? Like, where did you get the shit from? Like, what's up with the shit, man? You know, like
nasty, nasty, like
Neanderthals.
No, seriously. And then you got Amanda from Knoxville who said it's a revolution. We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution, as she rubs fucking onions in her eyes and shit like that. Like, even when y'all doing shit, y'all still scamming on the low. I seen
one motherfucker. Well, it was like a white dude. He was like, "Hey, I'm doing a game show."
Oh,
he was like,
I know.
It's one answer. One correct answer, you'll get $1 million. And he was like, he went up to 2 Trump supporters and shit around that same time, I guess. And he was like, who won the election? Who won the 2021 election or 2020 election? And she was like, Donald John Trump. He was like, for $1 million, I could give you $1 million for the one correct answer. And what's your answer? And she like, Donald J. Trump. The homegirl looking like, yeah, Donald J. Trump. He was like, so you don't want $1 million? She was like, I mean, that's who won the election. He was like, Okay.
I saw that shit too.
Just walked away.
Brainwashing is real.
That shit is
like,
delusional.
Cult leaders are cult leaders for a reason.
That shit
you know
crazy.
what I'm saying? Like, cult leaders, everyone, let me retract. Some people need to be led. I always say that. Some people just need to be led. Like, some people are leaders and some people are followers. And individuals need direction. And regardless if that direction is gonna have you drinking Kool-Aid like fucking Jim Jones or whatever the case may be, Donald Trump is essentially a cult leader. He's not the smartest man. He's not the most eloquent man. Yeah. He's pretty much the scum of society, in my opinion. However, to those people who look up to him, they just follow blindly. And that is just insane to me. That's why I was just like, listen, if I had the power of a Donald Trump, I would take these fucking 75 million people and just start my own fucking cult. Cause all he really wants is that ego boost. He should.
Yeah, I thought he was going to start another country.
He can go use Epstein Island. Epstein can't use it. Epstein got his whole island. All y'all go to Epstein Island. Yeah. And take all y'all go. Like, all y'all go. Like, go where y'all feel appreciated. Drink the fucking Kool-Aid. Do whatever you gotta do. Just leave us the fuck alone. And then, like, somebody on CNN or one of the channels, said it just very simply that hit just so different. He said Donald Trump advised or ignited individuals to go and basically wipe out the whole line of succession. Mike Pence was in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, all y'all know is, it's called the, designated survivor and shit like that. It's basically the line of succession. Like, if something happened to this nigga in charge. Something happened to this nigga in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes down the line. This nigga, Donald Trump basically sent people to wipe out the whole line of succession. Mike Pence was right there. Wipe out the whole fucking line of succession, and then he would be the only person left. Nigga, that's some evil villain type shit. Like, you should have a fucking cat on your lap and dressed in all black in a chair that just turns around. And you just like, ha 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 ha. Like,
yeah, he definitely the nigga from Inspector Gadget.
Max, he's definitely the nigga from Inspector Gadget. But another part of this story that stands out to me is that the fact that, this was orchestrated not only from the outside, but from the inside. There were cops involved. There were senators involved. Oh, yeah. There were other individuals involved. So now you have basically, essentially, co-workers who don't fuck with each other. Like, you played a part in trying to get somebody to kill me. Cause that could have went totally left.
Yeah, they would have found fucking AOC or fucking Nancy Pelosi or anybody, you know what I'm saying, on that side.
They were in there with zip ties and dressed in fatigues and tactical gear. They came for business. Some of them came for business. And then some of them came dumb as fuck. Like the nigga with the horns and shit. And he got locked up, and his mom was just like, he hasn't eaten in 3 days because they won't give him an organic meal. You know what the fuck they did? They gave that nigga an organic meal.
And they
the fuck? The privilege.
It's Muslim niggas that still be having to die from not eating pork.
Listen, I watched a reality show called 90 Days In, 60 Days In. 9 days, one of the days in, but people fucking volunteer to go to jail. I feel like I mentioned this before, but there was an individual on there and she had like a gluten intolerance. So like there are people with a gluten sensitivity and then there are people with celiac disease, right? So I have a gluten sensitivity and that's when you hear we're like, damn, you can just it, blah, 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 blah. And that's one of the reactions to it, right? Right. He like, you snotty, whatever, but that is one of the reactions to it. So I know that if I'm eating certain shit, this is one of the reactions that's going to happen. But there's also a disease called celiac disease where you can't have it. Like me, I make a decision. Do I want to deal with XYZ today or right now? All right, I'm going to eat this fucking bread. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat this, that. But there are people with actual celiac disease that if they eat it, it's an allergic reaction. Like they could die from it. She could swell up, all this shit, and they could die from it. It was a chick who had celiac disease and they did not change her shit. Black lady. They didn't change her shit. Like she was just trying to like scavenge and eat like orange halves and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That they were provided. But they changed this nigga. Organic ain't even a thing, my nigga. Like organic is it is not something whereas is it the healthier option? Yes. But is it something where if you have something that's not organic, you gonna pass the fuck out and die? No. It's not that. It's not that at all. And they changed it.
Right.
That is white privilege. The fact that they are letting out 800, or they're pardoning like 800 people or 8,000 people. I don't know. It was a large fucking number. That is white privilege. But circling back, how would you move about with not knowing if we work with coworkers that we feel like snakes anyway. That's just corporate America. You know what I'm saying? But somebody who tried to kill you, how do you move forward with that? Or what's in a plot to kill you? How do you do that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
How to operate
I have no idea. Cause I don't know. That shit is like some movie shit, man. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea even how you would even like approach that shit. Cause then you got to try to find out who did it.
And you know, I'm an investigator by
career.
Like that's what I do. Like I investigate shit, understand what's going on and put this shit together. And, I think I'm about to get an All Lives Matter nigga about, but anyway, that's why. So like, I couldn't sit there knowing that I couldn't be a part of an organization that is not going to even try to look into the shit and see what's going on. Like, that's some treasonous ass shit.
Yeah, that was some Benedict Arnold shit.
So we got over that. That happened on the 6th. And then, the inauguration happened, right? That happened on the 20th. There were all types of precautions. Instead of having crowds there, Biden, and Harris put flags out there and they put lights to, commemorate the individuals who passed away due to COVID and all of those things, which I thought was really, really good. Did you watch the inauguration?
Yeah, I did. I watched,
What was your thoughts? Did you feel a certain way? Like, did anything stand out
like
in regards to that day? Was it different or was it just another day in politics for you? Or how do you feel about that?
Just another day in politics. They gotta change the fucking date. Like January.
It's not convenient for us. Can you put a president in when it's convenient?
Bro. That shit is hot. It's cold.
Hey, it is Times Square and on New Year's Eve. Cold out that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That shit. It might be colder because it's fucking on that water, man. That shit be no joke. But it looked cold as hell. Like I ain't no way in hell I'd be out there unless I was fucking had to be. But yeah, it was, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of, black shit, you know what I'm saying? In terms of, discussing racial discrimination and, and all that. So we'll see if, they keep that same energy going forward, but I doubt it, but we'll see. But yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It was enjoyable for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck Garth Brooks. He was on some, he goes to shake Mike Pence's hand, but
I didn't see that.
Fucking Kamala Harris's hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you was excited, boy, but you made it a point to fucking shake the former fucking vice president's hand and not Kamala's hand. So I don't know. That shit was whack. I noticed that.
Oh my God.
Gotta stop getting J-Lo to fucking sing like some million people that can sing.
Listen, I love J-Lo.
Like, she can't sing.
Visually, I love J-Lo. I love J-Lo dancing. I've loved J-Lo for a very long time. But sis, singing is not your thing. Listen, to the J-Los, to the Sierras, to the Janet Jacksons. Dancing is your thing. Dancing is your thing, and you make music good enough so that you can dance to it. Like, stick to that. Anything where you feel like you gotta make a vein come out the side of your throat to sing, that ain't you, sis. That ain't your lane. J-Lo, that ain't your lane. Like, don't do that shit. Like, stop that shit. That shit was trash.
Yeah, that shit was trash. I like The Poet. I like Kamala's nephew wearing Jordan Dior ones.
Yes, let's talk about that because I have that in my notes too. Like, yo, that sneakerhead.
I was like, damn, motherfucker stunting out that bitch, ain't they? Yeah, I seen how they were laced. I was like, oh, okay. Well.
So I was watching this shit and somebody told me like, someone's there with Air Force Ones on. And I was like, where? Like, oh, cause I'm multitasking. I'm working, but I have a TV in my office now. And so I had that on like in the background. So I had the inauguration on pretty much all day. I was like, some Air Force Ones. I was like, all right, that's what's up. Like, I automatically assumed like it was one of Kamala people with the Air Force Ones. And if y'all know anything about me, I feel like sneakers should always be in the dress code. That's just how I feel. Cause some nigga sneakers cost more than everything you got on. Those to the fucking Dior Jordan ones. Those are $2,000 sneakers at retail. Yeah. At retail, they $2,000. So resale is double that right now. Like, retail is
10, 15 racks.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I did see something for a little over 4K or whatever. And a little while later, somebody sent it to me, the screenshot, and then a bunch of other people sent it to me. So I was just like, did you call these Air Force Ones? These are the fucking Dior Jordan ones. Like, them shits deserve to be there. If a sneaker is gonna be there, like, them motherfuckers deserve to be there. Like,
yeah, I'm laced horribly though. It was discipline.
Listen, your aunt or whatever is the vice president. I will say this though, as a black woman in corporate America, as a black woman, period, as a black person, I was sincerely moved by Kamala taking this oath. All of these things had to happen in order for this to happen. like all of these things were set in motion for a reason. That is the only way. Not only a woman was elected, but we got a black woman before we even got a white woman. I definitely thought we would have a white woman vice president before we had a black woman anything. Yeah. So I was moved. I've been told that I need to get in touch with my feelings because I don't do happy cries. Individuals around me and other friends of mine was just so moved and crying and shit like that. Like, I'm just not biologically set up like that. Like, it's not that I don't want to do the happy cry. I can't fake a happy cry. I'm happy. But I don't have it. I want something to happen to me. I always say this. I want something to happen to me where I'm overcome with emotion. It causes me to cry. But I've never done that. Mm. I've never been in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So if it happens, it happens. But I was definitely moved by that, having a black woman, in office. And it was just an awesome thing to me. Who won the runway?
I'll give it to Michelle. I mean, everybody was there. Biden, the granddaughters and shit, they was fresh too. But Michelle.
Yeah, I said that too. I was like, the granddaughters was pretty lit too. They all wore like jewel tones and they did like this monochromatic thing. But I think like one of the things that kind of set fucking Michelle off versus the other people who was there. Michelle even killed Kamala. Alright, like, Michelle came out that bitch, she had on the pantsuit. If you see everybody else, almost everybody else had on skirts and shit. Yeah, she came out that bitch like, right, and fucking Barack came out that joint like, it's something about Michelle and Barack, like, we feel that. Like, we feel them, like, everybody I feel like has a version of a Michelle and Barack in their family. Like, I say the rich aunt and uncle. Right. that don't come around the family that often, but when they come around, you know they the rich aunt and uncle. Mm-hmm. Like they give that vibe. And I was like, bitch. Like I felt like black women all around the world was just like, yes. Like, bitch, you fucking killed that shit. She came through that joint, and it's not only what you wear, it's how you wear it, and it's an attitude. And I just feel like Barack and fucking Michelle they just ooze swag to me in that arena. Like, out of they people, like, they just fucking ooze swag to me. So, I was very happy about what I saw, how it came together. I could have did without J-Lo. I could have did without Garth Brooks. I could have did without Lady Gaga as well.
Yeah,
like,
so trash.
I don't see the appeal in Lady Gaga. Like, I don't get what everybody, I don't have no beef with Lady Gaga, but I don't get it. Everybody fucking loves Lady Gaga. She was up there looking like the fucking Hunger Games with that big ass bird. Did you see that voiceover joint?
Yeah, that shit was fine.
That shit was like super fucking funny. Last but not least, anything else you want to say about the inauguration?
Nah, I think we pretty much carved it out.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, in regards to politics, so we had the insurrection, then we had the inauguration 6 days ago, and now Biden is having the most diverse cabinet in history based on, age, race, sexuality, everything. And you talked a little bit earlier about like, they talking some good shit right now. Let's see if they can, keep it going. And all that. Do you feel like he has a transgender person? He has a bunch of black people. He has a bunch of women, all of that. How do you feel like this diverse cabinet will impact basically this divided country?
Yet to be seen. I'm hoping for the best. It's politics, so yeah, nothing really surprises me, especially for the past 4 years that we've endured. So, it's pretty much impossible to get worse. You can always get worse, but it's,
don't say that, Jesus.
Pretty low hanging fruit. So you can go ahead and scoop it up.
Yeah.
And, hopefully make some change. So, even if it's not, immediate change, but you got a little time just because of, the last 4 years have been so traumatic. I think that it can only go up.
Oh, yeah. Great word. Traumatic describes it perfectly. Traumatic described it perfectly. I will say as well, like, there has been, so for 4 years while Donald Trump was in office, every single day we dealt with some bullshit in some way, shape, or form. Either he said something out of pocket, or he signed some executive order, or he did something out of pocket. Like, we dealt with shit like literally every single day for 4 years. And now it's kind of like, I'm not hearing a lot. I definitely want my politics to go back to being boring. I felt like we just ended a reality show. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see what Donald Trump does next from a pure entertainment standpoint. But it has been quiet. I felt like on November 5th or whenever the election was and Donald Trump lost, like, I don't know why, but I physically felt a weight lifted. Like, it's just been so much that I'm just like, okay, now we have something that resembles normalcy of what I remember prior to Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And politics is politics at the end of the day. Like, people gonna make decisions you like. Individuals are going to make decisions you don't like. However, in regards to Biden's diverse cabinet, the fact that we now have seats at the table means a lot. America is diverse. America is a melting pot. You have people who are black, white, Indian, whatever. You have people who are gay, straight, transgender, all of that shit. America is a land of the free. So because and I put that in air quotes, as the land of the free. So you have a place where people can do whatever they want to do. It's not like these other countries where you can't be gay, you can't be transgender, you can't be black. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard being black here, but in some places, like, you know, they was running black people up out of China and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is a place where everyone needs to be represented. And I feel like when there is representation, there is progression. So when you have these individuals that we've talked about on the show previously that were fucking hotep or conspiracy theorists or why the fuck y'all voting or Illuminati or whatever, you know what I'm saying? My response is, this is why we vote. To have a seat at the table. And there is no way that you're going to tell me that all of these different people representing America cannot be positive, except for that 75 million we got to worry about.
Right. Like
that 75 million people who voted for Trump and is a part of the Trump cult. But I applaud Joe Biden. I know that I watched Crack on Netflix. Did you get a chance to watch that yet? Okay. Well, of course they addressed the 94 crime bill, and Joe Biden playing a part of that along with other individuals, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna tell me like that people can't attempt to redeem themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing now? And I have hope that Joe Biden will do the right thing. And Joe Biden old as fuck. So at the very least, we got a black woman that's next up in line of succession to get us to where we need to be or attempt to move the country forward in a place. I have hopes that because of this administration, we will get farther from African American or black standpoint than probably we did during the Obama administration. Because I feel like Biden is specifically calling out these things and what he's going to do and what people he owe his victory to. And he's standing by his word right now. But in that crack joint, I didn't know that Joe Biden got some fucking hair plugs or a toupee either.
Makes sense.
Like, on some superficial shit. That nigga was bald as fuck. I didn't know that shit. Until the comedian called it out, like, ain't nobody gonna say nothing about the fact that Joe Biden was bald as fuck back in 94.
Hey,
and now
he got a little money.
He got a little money. He got his Tory Lanez on. Oh, he got his Tory Lanez on and got his shit together. But I feel hopeful to sum all that up. I definitely feel hopeful about the diversity, and it's moving us forward. He's already got the Tubman twins back on the agenda. He got the transgenders back in the military, which I feel like if you don't like somebody, why wouldn't you send them to war? Like, wouldn't you want them to be there? Like, yeah. That makes no sense to me. Like, if you don't like somebody, send them into the war zone. Why are people so different? But yeah, so, is there anything else that you want to talk about as far as what has transitioned, politically since the last time we spoke? Or are you pretty good right now?
No, I think that's put the button on it for me.
All right. Well, I want to thank y'all for listening to us. I do want to make an announcement that the 2021 version of the show, we've been doing some research and things like that. And, don't get upset. We're going to see what an every 2 week format looks like. So you guys won't hear from us next week, but you will hear from us the following week. Let us know how you feel about it. We're going to go along with that so that we can see how that stacks up numbers wise and opens up opportunity for us to develop different things. So let us know how you feel about that. But, we have the website. Check us out at theaintshitshow.com. You know, we're available by way of Twitter, IG, all the social. And y'all know how it is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And nothing has changed in 2021 as far as me leaving y'all with a quote. And the quote for today is, if you hang out with successful people, they will brainwash you into believing in yourself and thinking you can achieve anything. Birds of a feather flock together, people. And until the week after next, I want y'all to manifest your destiny. I definitely want you to continue to love yourself, love on yourself. Can't nobody love you if you don't love yourself. And the marathon continues. We out.